This fall for our 2014 Mayoral Forum, brought to you by Winnipeg Realtors. We'll be live from the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Centre, October 9th at 7 p.m. Have a say in our city's next mayor. Join the conversation online at Shaw TV Winnipeg, #YourMayor. Your Mayor, the 2014 All Candidates Mayoral Forum, only on Channel 9, Shaw TV.
It is a tower of hope and a vision of the future as shared as the sky. It will be a forum for new dialogue based on inclusion and respect. A place of empowerment, knowledge, and inspiration built on Canadian ideals. Become engaged and be inspired. Visit the Canadian Museum for Human Rights.
The following is a Shaw TV live presentation. Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Welcome to Shaw Park in beautiful downtown Winnipeg on a perfect night for Safeway Goldeyes baseball as the Winnipeg Goldeyes prepare to play the final game of the 2014 American Association season against the SouthShore RailCats. Hi everybody, I'm Scott Taylor, and last night here at the downtown ballpark, the Goldeyes eliminated the RailCats from the playoffs by pounding the visitors 18-5. As the Fish got a great start from Ryan Bollinger and 4 home runs, one each from Jake Blackwood, Reggie Abercrombie, Josh Mazzola, and Casey Harther. Tonight, the Goldeyes could win a franchise record 64th game as the 63-36 Fish face the 52-47 RailCats. Now, this game has nothing to do with the standings. The Goldeyes are in the postseason and will open the best-of-5 semifinal against the Lincoln Salt Dogs on Wednesday night right here in Winnipeg. However, it's an important night for most of the Goldeyes players. Nick Hernandez, who was named Pitcher of the Year in the American Association today, will get to start and go 3 or 4 innings to prepare to start next Saturday's playoff, Game 3 in Lincoln. Tyler Kuhn is hitting .361, while Casey Harther is now hitting .360, and they're in a battle for the Tear the Cover Off the Ball trophy. Reggie Abercrombie has 18 home runs and is trying to get to 20, and he leads Harther 73-71 in the race to be the team's RBI leader. Jake Blackwood, after a terrible start and an injury that cost him 18 games, is now hitting .319. He'd love to get to .320 after going 4 for 5 with a homer and 5 RBIs last night. Brock Bond hitting .332, would love to finish in the 330s, and Josh Mazzola, who has had a tough season, hitting just .266, has 16 homers and 66 RBI, and will have his most impressive season with the Goldeyes in terms of run production. For the players, this game still matters. It's the final game of the regular season. The Winnipeg Goldeyes and SouthShore RailCats. It's live, and it's next, right here on Shaw TV.
Il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
David Greno with the national anthem And we're about ready to play some baseball. It's the Goldeyes and the Gary SouthShore RailCats. Let's go down to field level in the Goldeyes starting defensive alignment. The boys out in the carpet. It's brought to you by A&R Carpet Barn. Visit one of our 2 locations at 50 Archibald Street and 655 Pembina Highway. For the Goldeyes tonight, Luis Allen back behind the plate. He had a night off last night. Casey Harther plays first base. Jake Blackwood has moved to second. Brock Bond's going to be the designated hitter. He was injured last night, was hit by a pitch. They're going to wait until Wednesday to have Brock Bond play back at second base. Tyler Kuhn will play short and Josh Mazzola at third. Donnie Webb is in left field, Reggie Abercrombie in center, and Ryan Pineda will start in right field. As we said, Brock Bond is the designated hitter. Nick Hernandez is the starting pitcher. The Goldeyes starting defensive alignment brought to you by A&R Carpet Barn. Visit ANRCarpetBarn.com. Your Goldeyes starting pitcher is brought to you by Lower Level Sports Cards at 189 Henderson Highway, right beside the subway. Visit us at lowerlevelsportscards.ca. Your Goldeyes starting pitcher is the pitcher of the year in the American Association, Nick Hernandez. He's 6'4", 215. He lives in Madison, Tennessee, just outside Nashville. He went to the University of Tennessee, and he played high A last year in Clearwater. This season, he has a 12-2 record with a 3.11 ERA. He's pitched in 19 games, started all 19. He's had 2 complete games and leads the league with those 2 complete game shutouts. He has pitched 118 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 117 hits, 50 runs, 41 earned runs, 21 walks, and 92 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .254 against him. Nick Hernandez has had a remarkable season after 3 bad starts to get on his way. He had a conversation with Jamie Vermillier, straightened that out, and he has been sensational ever since. Your Goldeyes starting pitcher is brought to you by Lower Level Sports Cards at 189 Henderson Highway. It's right beside the subway. Visit us at lowerlevelsportscards.ca. The RailCats starting lineup brought to you by Pembina Chrysler Dodge Jeep, proud supporter of your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Visit us at pembinachrysler.com. Danny Pulfer steps in. He leads it off. He always leads it off for Greg Taggart's Gary SouthShore RailCats. He'll be followed by Drew Martinez, the number 5 hitter in the list of top hitters in the American Association. Zach Mitchell hits third. Henry Wrigley is the cleanup man. Josh Romanski, Craig Maddox, Ryan Babineau, Wally Backman, and Drew Murin hits ninth to wrap it up. The RailCats starting lineup brought to you by Pembina Chrysler Dodge Jeep, proud supporter of your Winnipeg Goldeyes. First pitch of the game from Nick Hernandez is in there for strike one. Your player of the year, Nick Hernandez. And the game's opening pitch is brought to you by Metro Center Limited. For trailers, trailer parts, and accessories, visit us at 620 Nairn Avenue. Hernandez, strike 2. As Pulfer fouls it off. Danny Pulfer last night went 2 for 5. He had a pretty good ball game. He scored 2 runs, drove 1 in. 18-5, the Goldeyes won last night's ball game. The bats were booming. They had 20 hits. Pulfer comes in hitting .308 with 7 home runs and 61 driven in. Hernandez gets the sign. This is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick Hernandez said this afternoon that he had 3 horrible starts to start the season, then sat down with Jamie Vermillier, the pitching coach. Vermillier said, just get some confidence. Throw the way you can throw. Since then, he has been almost unhittable. He's had 2 complete game shutouts, the first 2 of his career as a professional, and now has a record of 12-2. It is unlikely he will get the win, or, well, he could get the loss certainly, but it's unlikely he'll get the win today because he's probably only going about 2 innings. There's a pitch popped up behind the plate. Luis Allen finds it, and he won't get to it. It gets into the stands, and Pulfer will live to swing again. Great crowd here tonight at the ballpark. It's fan appreciation night. In every inning, there'll be an autographed player card set given away. Old Dutch chips given away all over the ballpark all night long. Post-game fireworks, of course. The final game of the season does not matter as far as the standings are concerned. Here's the pitch by Hernandez. It's fouled off again. Danny Pulfer makes his home in Gary, Indiana. He's just 24 years old, 5'10", 195. Played in the All-Star game. The All-Stars for the season were named today. 2 Goldeyes and Nick Hernandez on the team. Hernandez's pitch, foul back again. Tyler Kuhn is the All-Star shortstop, and Casey Harther is the All-Star first baseman. really no surprises at all on the All-Star team. Brent Cleveland of the Wichita Wingnuts, who will likely be the most valuable player in the league, is in center field. Reggie Abercrombie got a lot of votes. Great finish for Reggie Abercrombie. Hernandez gets the sign from Allen. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch, fouled off again. Pulfer stays alive. So Pulfer has now seen 9 pitches from Nick Hernandez. Fouled 5 of them back. Pulfer played straight away by everybody in the ball club. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Nick Hernandez with that low inside slider fools Danny Pulfer. And here's one away. Let's have another look at this one. What a great pitch. That thing slid right off the table. It would have been ball 3, but you just can't not swing at it. It looks so good when it leaves his hand and then just dives off the table. One away. Here's Drew Martinez. First pitch is on the corner for strike 1. Martinez hitting .359. He has 2 home runs and 62 driven in. Drew Martinez is 4th in hitting. He fouls that off, 2-2. .359 and 423 at-bats. That's the most in the league. He also leads in hits with 152. He scored 64 runs, driven in 62. He's had a tremendous season. Clearly Gary's best player all season long. Hernandez gets the sign, and there's a ground ball to Tyler Kuhn at short. Handles it easily, gets it across the diamond. 2 away. We'll have another look at this, how smooth Tyler Kuhn is at shortstop. Good pitch by Hernandez. One motion, bang, gets him. Close play at first base. Kuhn has a gun from shortstop. Here's the number 3 hitter, Zach Mitchell, the second baseman. He comes in hitting .263, has a home run. He's driven in 49. First pitch is right down the middle for strike 1. The fastball at 84. Zach Mitchell lives in Memphis, Tennessee. Played in Gary last year. Another pitch right down the middle at 83 for strike 2. Hernandez works the corners, moves it up and down, works quickly and throws a lot of strikes. That's how you get to be 12-2 with a 3.11 ERA. 0-2 the count to Mitchell. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to Casey Harther at first. It's a fair ball. Harther flips it to Hernandez, and that does it. 3 up, 3 down for the Gary SouthShore RailCats as Hernandez looks sharp in that first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. It's Gary nothing, Winnipeg coming to bat. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Oh, welcome back to Shaw Park in downtown Winnipeg. Fan appreciation night tonight. Great crowd at the ballpark tonight. Probably about 6,500. Fireworks afterwards. It's going to be a lot of fun at the park. We had 6,600 when we were here on Saturday night. Anyway, let's go down to the ballpark, and the RailCats starting defensive alignment. The boys out in the carpet. It's brought to you by A&R Carpet Barn. Visit one of our 2 locations at 50 Archibald Street and 655 Pembina Highway. Ryan Babineau, the catcher. Craig Maddox starts at first base. He's been the DH for most of this series, but he'll start at first base tonight. Henry Wrigley will DH. Zach Mitchell will play second. Danny Pulfer will play short, and Wally Backman Jr. is the third baseman. Josh Romanski starts in left. Drew Murin in center, and Drew Martinez starts in right field. As we told you, Wrigley is the designated hitter. And Morgan Combs, who won the first game of this series, is the starting pitcher tonight. Combs in that last game of the series that the Goldeyes faced Gary, he was terrific. And Combs is one of the better pitchers in this league, so it'll be fun to watch tonight. The RailCats starting defensive alignment brought to you by A&R Carpet Barn. Visit anrcarpetbarn.com. Your RailCats starting pitcher is brought to you by Lower Level Sports Cards at 189 Henderson Highway, right beside the subway. Visit us at lowerlevelsportscards.ca. Morgan Combs lives in West Terre Haute, Indiana. Played in Gary last year. He's 6'1", 190, 26 years old, and he's still considered just an LS1 in this league. Combs has a 7-9 record with a 5.37 ERA. He's pitched in 22 games, started all 22, and has 3 complete games this season. He has pitched 135 2/3 innings, given up 149 hits, 84 runs, 81 of them earned, 47 walks, and 68 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .278 against him, and that's Morgan Combs, your starting pitcher for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. It's brought to you by Lower Level Sports Cards at 189 Henderson Highway, right beside the subway. Visit us at lowerlevelsportscards.ca. Leading it off for the Goldeyes is Brock Bond, as always. Jake Blackwood hits number 2. A lot of power for a number 2 hitter. Tyler Kuhn hits 3. Casey Arthur 4. Reggie Abercrombie, the number 5 hitter. There's a fly ball into left field, and it is caught foul territory by Josh Romanski. So Brock Bond, the first out of the inning. Josh Mazzola will hit 7th, Luis Allen will hit 8th, and Ryan Pineda will hit 9th. And the Goldeyes starting lineup is brought to you by Pembina Chrysler Dodge Jeep, proud supporter of your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Visit us at pembinachrysler.com. So one away quickly for Morgan Combs, and that'll bring up Jake Blackwood, who last night was just remarkable. Blackwood went 4 for 5 with 4 runs scored and 5 driven in. First pitch to him is just off the corner for ball 1. He raised his batting average from .312 to .319 last night. He would love nothing more than to hit .320 after the terrible start he got off to. Pitch is low, 2 balls and no strike from Combs. Jake Blackwood from Kansas City. Played in San Antonio last year in the Texas League and was terrific. It's amazing to people that he was released. There's a pitch on the corner inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. He made the All-Star team, led his team in runs batted in and runs scored, was the best defensive infielder, and was released by the Padres. Which is good news for the Goldeyes, because after a slow start and then an ankle injury, he got his act together in the month of August, and he has been sensational. Over the last 10 games, Jake Blackwood is hitting .372, 16 for 43. It's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Combs strikes him out. Good pitch by Morgan Combs. His first strikeout of the night. And Blackwood goes down on strikes. Let's have another look. Great pitch by Combs. Slider cut the outside corner. Would have been strike 3 anyway. But there was nothing Blackwood could do with it. And that's the second out of this first inning. It'll bring up Tyler Kuhn. First pitch by Combs to Kuhn is in there for strike 1. Tyler Kuhn hitting .361. He has 5 homers, 56 runs batted in. Kuhn is number 2 in the league in hitting, right behind Brent Cleveland. Pitch misses way outside. Cleveland is hitting .370. He will win the batting title and be the league MVP. Tyler Kuhn hitting .361, Casey Arthur .360. It's quite a race for that tear the cover off the ball trophy. Swing and a foul tip. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Kuhn from Louisville, Kentucky. The king of Cincinnati Bengals fans, Tyler Kuhn. Here's the pitch by Combs. Off-speed pitch is hit into the gap. Getting over quickly is Murin. He got a great start on it, and he'll make the catch. Good job by Drew Murin to come a long way and get Tyler Kuhn. So for the Goldeyes, 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're in the final game of the season. We've just played the first inning. It's Gary nothing, Winnipeg nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Join the movement to kick cancer. 5 simple things can reduce your risk of cancer up to 50%. Choose a balanced diet with plenty of fruits and vegetables. Get active to maintain a healthy body weight. Avoid tobacco and secondhand smoke. Protect yourself from UV rays. Follow cancer screening guidelines. See your doctor for regular checkups. Take the pledge to reduce your risk of cancer. Join the movement at kickcancer.ca.
An initiative of Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation, supported by Safeway.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Great shot by Dave Neufeld out center field. The press box and the fans behind the plate. A terrific crowd here tonight to finish off the season. As the Goldeyes face the Gary SouthShore RailCats in the final game, game number 100. The teams in this league play 100 games in 107 days. As you look at number 56, Henry Wrigley, who has spent most of his season with the St. Paul Saints. He'll be our cleanup hitter tonight for the Gary SouthShore RailCats, and tonight's cleanup hitter is brought to you by Multi-Material Stewardship of Manitoba. More than half of all household garbage can be recycled. Recycling is easy and it's convenient. We all win with recycling. For more information, visit simplyrecycle.ca. So Nick Hernandez works into his second inning. Barry Fowler is up stretching. I suspect we'll probably see Fowler by the 4th. As Wrigley steps in, Henry Wrigley batting .296 with 16 home runs and 78 runs batted in. We'll have some guests with us tonight. In the 3rd and I hope 4th innings, we'll have the general manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, Andrew Collier, to talk about the season and talk about the upcoming playoffs that start Wednesday, as the Goldeyes face the Lincoln Salt Dogs in the first round of the playoffs. First pitch to Wrigley is low ball 1. And after Andrew, Dan Chase is going to come in and talk to you about how you can get tickets to those playoff games. And then we expect about the 7th inning, Matt Jackson, Goldeyes right-handed pitcher, to join us. And then in the 8th, Nick Hernandez will come upstairs and visit with us for the 8th and the 9th innings, as the Goldeyes finish off their season, and thanks to Rick Forney for allowing his players to come up and join us in this final game. Here's the pitch by Hernandez. It's fouled. Uh-oh. That probably hit, I don't know, Rebecca Horan's car probably across the street. Better get Mako Collision Repair and Auto Painting, Canada's Body Shop at 983 Wall Street, right here in Winnipeg. There's one fouled off again. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Henry Wrigley. Henry Wrigley played in St. Paul, as we told you. He's from San Carlos, California, 6'4", 220, 28 years old. Power hitter, played in the All-Star game. And there's a pop-up. Tyler Kuhn waves everybody off. Backpedals, makes the catch. One away here in the 2nd. It'll bring up Reggie Abercrombie. I'm looking at Reggie. It will not bring up Reggie Abercrombie. It'll bring up Josh Romanski. A left fielder, not a center fielder. Romanski hitting .307 with 7 home runs and 60 driven in. He's had a real good season. Left-handed hitting outfielder. Fields his position extremely well. He's quick. And had a good year this year for Greg Taggart's Gary SouthShore RailCats. First pitch from Hernandez is in there for a strike. Josh Romanski played last year with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Binghamton. Pitch misses outside. Talented ball player who has been a real surprise for this ball club. Here's the pitch by Hernandez. It's on the corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Romanski. Romanski is from Norco, California. Went to Norco High School. We'll have another look at this pitch from Lanky Nick. Right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fastball right back up the middle. Tyler Kuhn makes the play. Fires across the diamond. And there's the second out. Good play by Tyler Kuhn, getting up the middle to take what might have been a base hit through the box, but both of these middle infielders this season, Brock Bond and Tyler Kuhn, have been sensational. And Jake Blackwood might have been able to get it in behind Kuhn. Good play by Tyler Kuhn. Good throw off balance to get a very quick Josh Romanski. And here's Craig Maddox, the home run derby champion from Locust Grove, Georgia. First pitch by Hernandez. Off speed low, ball one. Maddox is hitting .254 this year. He only has 6 home runs. It's amazing that in a league where the home run leader is Ian Gack with 27. Pitch is low and outside. Travis Denker has 25. A.J. Kirby Jones 23. Brent Cleveland 19 and Reggie Abercrombie 18. The guy with 6 home runs easily, and he easily won the home run derby. It wasn't even close. 2 balls and no strikes to Maddox. Pitch by Hernandez is a ground ball to Tyler Kuhn. Easy play behind second base, fires to first, and another 1-2-3 inning for Nick Hernandez. Nothing across. We played an inning and a half. Barry Fowler is up warming up. I don't think we'll see Nick Hernandez much longer. It's Gary nothing, Winnipeg nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway. The Lazy Boy Comfort Zones, located in the Winnipeg Free Press Sky Suite, is fully furnished with the latest Lazy Boy sofas, love seats, and recliners. The Winnipeg Goldeyes would like to thank Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, located at 1425 Ellis Avenue, for their support. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Comfort. It's what we do.
One in 4 deaths on Manitoba roads involves a distracted driver. Texting and driving is illegal. It could cost you a $200 fine, 2 demerits, or your life. Please don't text and drive. That's a message from Manitoba Public Insurance and your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Look at that crowd tonight. Team Canada's here. Folks enjoying the ball game tonight. It's a beautiful night for baseball in downtown Winnipeg. Great night to finish the season as Morgan Coombs works into his second inning. Young family sitting right down from us, having fun at the ballpark tonight. Casey Harther will lead it off here in the second inning, followed by Reggie Abercrombie and Donnie Webb. Casey Harther's your cleanup hitter tonight. It's brought to you by Multi-Material Stewardship of Manitoba. More than half of all household garbage can be recycled. Recycling is easy and it's convenient. We all win with recycling. For more information, visit simplyrecycle.ca. So Casey Harther steps in hitting .360. He has 12 home runs. He hit his 12th last night. It was an absolute bomb over the Canada inside, a 3-run homer last night. He has 71 runs driven in. It's the first pitch by Coombs. It's on the corner for strike one. Casey Harther has struggled over the last week, maybe the last 2. Sitting only .205 in his last 10 and 100 in his last 5. Off-speed pitch, just missed high. He's 2 for 22, but last night he was 2 for 6. 4 runs driven in, scored a run. He hit the ball hard every time he was up last night. There's a pitch low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's been a long season, but Casey Harther has played tremendous baseball from start to finish. Pitch by Coombs, that's low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Casey Harther. Harther was 71 runs batted in, just 2 behind Reggie Abercrombie, the team leader. Josh Mazzola has 68. There's a long fly ball into the gap. That is deep, and that is gone. Home run number 13 for Casey Harther. And the Goldeyes take a 1-0 lead. Casey Harther unloaded a line shot over the left center field fence. His 13th home run of the year, his 72nd run batted in. We got a real battle, and this home run is presented by Home Run Sports. Proud sponsors of your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Visit us at Home Run Sports at 20 De La Seigneurie Boulevard. And boy, did Casey Harther hit that one. Not quite as long as the one he hit Oppo last night, but that was crushed. A slider down, and he just lined it out of the park. Romanski knew it was gone right away. And it's 1-0 for the Goldeyes. That's also our first hit of the game. And our first hit of the game is brought to you by the University of Winnipeg. This year, the leading hitter will win the Tear the Cover Off the Ball trophy presented by the University of Winnipeg. That trophy will be presented on Wednesday night in the first game of the playoffs as the Goldeyes played the Lincoln Salt Dogs in the first round. The current leader officially is Tyler Kuhn at 361, but I can just about guarantee that Tyler Kuhn is down to 360 and Casey Arthur is back to 361, so we'll have a battle all night long to see who wins the Tear the Cover Off the Ball trophy. Pitch by Kuhn hits Reggie Abercrombie on the leg. It was an off-speed pitch that didn't move. It was a slider that didn't slide. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, he tries the backdoor slider, and it just hit Casey on the buttocks. Correct that, Reggie. It didn't hurt him because he's making jokes with the Gary dugout on his way to first base. That's one thing Reggie will make sure he does. Let everybody know exactly what's on his mind as he walks to first base. So Abercrombie's at first with nobody out. Donnie Webb steps in. Donnie Webb hitting .293, 10 homers and 50 driven in. Pitch is low, ball one. Donnie Webb over the last 10 games is hitting .256, but .350 over the last 5. And if he gets it back heading into the playoffs, look out. Pitch by Coombs, and there's a line shot hit hard, but Drew Murin, who's very quick in center field, gets out to make the catch. That was hit hard, but Murin covers a lot of ground in center field. A lot like Reggie Abercrombie and most of the center fielders in this league. And that's the first out of the inning. So one away, and here comes Josh Mazzola. Speaking of guys who are starting to get it together, Mazzola struggled most of this year. He was hitting around 240, 250. He's got his batting average up to 266 because he's hitting 350 over the last 5, 7 for 20, and 314 over the last 10. He hit a home run last night, a line shot that went over the left field fence, and it got out of the park faster than the pitch came in. It was hard to believe that gravity allowed it to stay at the level it was at and still get over the fence. It was a line shot. 1 ball and no strikes to Mazzola. Reggie's thinking about going to second. He doesn't. There's a pop-up. Gets into left field. Zach Mitchell goes out. On comes Drew Martinez, and Martinez makes the catch. So Mazzola's the second out of the inning. Here comes Luis Allen. Luis Allen comes in hitting .289. Another tremendous season for Luis. 6 home runs, 50 runs driven in. 5 of his home runs are in this ballpark. And Luis, another tremendous season. And even though he's played 6 in this town, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back next year for 7. There goes Reggie. Pitches in the dirt, throw down to second base, and he's called out. Crowd doesn't like it very much, but Reggie Abercrombie thrown out 2-6 to Danny Pulford for the final out of the inning. Let's have another look. Reggie gets a good jump. Real good throw by Babineau in the dirt. Boy, that was close. Regardless, he's called out 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. The Goldeyes take a 1-0 lead. We've played 2 complete innings. We'll come to the top of the 3rd, and Andrew Collier, the general manager of the Goldeyes, will join us for the 3rd and, I hope, 4th innings. It's Winnipeg 1, Gary 0. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Hit it, boys. Do you guys think that Kermit's been acting a little weird lately?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He's never been more caring or devoted to me.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Ricky Gervais, Ty Burrell, and Tina Fey.
This is my car. It is illegal now for its massive size.
Plus, so many Hollywood stars, it'll leave you wanting more.
Yeah, no more.
Over the years, my role has evolved into more than covering fashion shows and interviewing rock stars. I've been fortunate to meet, support, and promote so many talented people in our community. Not only those who excel as dancers, musicians, and painters, but those people who share their talents to benefit us all. It's refreshing, reaffirming, often humbling, all in one. And it is why I love what I do.
Welcome back to beautiful Shaw Park in downtown Winnipeg. My guest color commentator, replacing Ken Wiebe tonight, who's still in Toronto, is Andrew Collier, the general manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. It's birthday night tonight, right?
It is. It's my son's 11th birthday tonight.
Having fun?
He's having a blast.
You can't have any more fun anywhere than in the suites here at Shaw Park.
Well, I think we have a game every year on his birthday, so this is pretty much an annual event.
Outstanding night, too. I mean, we've had some pretty nasty weather, but tonight's been... Boy, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, we had a bit of a scare earlier. Dodged some systems. It just went south. But yeah, it's a beautiful night.
Do you remember putting the tarp on and off as much as you've had to do it this year?
I'm sure there has been other years, but this year it was a lot.
I'm getting too old for that, by the way, boss. Tarp.
Well, I'm amazed every time you go out there, and even more amazed when you walk off the field.
Thanks, buddy.
That's just pure conditioning right there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Conditioning.
Good living.
Or something. 2 balls and no strikes to Ryan Babineau. How about Nick Hernandez? You got to congratulate that guy. What a great season.
He's been spectacular, and for a guy that had some injury trouble in the previous years, I think it was an email that he sent out, and I'm sure he sent it out to every independent team, and it was Rick that emailed him back and said, hey, we'd like you to come to camp, and here he is, pitcher of the year.
He walks Ryan Babineau to open this third inning, and here comes Rick Forney. That's going to be the end. Nick, I think if he could keep his pitch count down, would have liked to have pitched 5 and maybe get his 13th win of the year, but there was never going to be any doubt that he wasn't going to go too far tonight.
No, I think the plan was right around 2 innings, and hopefully he gets paid off nicely by the big crowd here tonight.
Well, he deserves it. Nick Hernandez, who will pitch next Saturday in Lincoln. This is a guy who was 7-0 on the road this year. It's funny, when he originally saw who was going to pitch in the playoffs as Barry Fowler steps into the game, I wondered, gee, why isn't Nick going to go early? And it was pretty obvious that the way he pitches on the road, there's you want to pitch next Saturday.
And you look at guys like Salamita and Hollingsworth, their numbers at home. I think they're
shocking.
The decision was made a little while ago who was going to pitch games 1, 2, and 3.
No question. Our new pitcher is Barry Fowler, one of the most interesting guys in professional baseball. He took about 15 years off to handle some family issues in Atlanta, Georgia. He's another guy who drove around looking for a place to play. He's been with the Goldeyes before. He's come back. He's 6'1", 215. He's 39 years old. Just turned 39 last month on the 23rd of August. He's from Atlanta. He's officially an LS2 at the age of 39. He's 1-0 with a couple of saves this season, a 4.91 ERA. He's pitched 11 innings, given up no walks and 2 strikeouts. He's actually been a very, very interesting pitcher for this team. He has a fastball, a curveball, a slider. That's it, 3 pitches. He was pitching senior men's ball for 15 years and decided just to try and see if he could play professional baseball. Got a tryout with El Paso, ended up in Winnipeg, and here he is back again. And he's going to try to go as many innings as he can tonight, as the Goldeyes are going to try to protect that bullpen as much as they possibly can with the playoffs coming Wednesday. So your pitching change, Nick Hernandez leaves. Here comes Barry Fowler. And the Goldeyes continue to lead at 1-0. So tell us about the playoffs. Can I get a ticket? Are there any left?
There are lots of great tickets available. Wednesday and Thursday, both at 7 o'clock here at Shaw Park against the Salt Dogs. Ticketmaster.ca. 855-GOLDEYE or come and visit the good folks down at the Shaw Park box office.
Well, Nicole and Kevin and Blair and everybody down there.
They do a great job.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Are you surprised that we're seeing Lincoln?
If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said very surprised. But the last 3 weeks, they've been hot. It was a good battle between them and Gary. Gary played well all year, but Lincoln got hot at the right time, and they deserve the spot they got.
I think we match up better, but that's just a personal opinion. Gary always scares me. They're a team that scares me to death.
They just have a way of winning, especially at home. They play very well at U.S. Steel Yard. You know what? Lincoln's going to be tough. They've got Ian Gack, who just pounds the ball, plays a good first base. Basinius, who's going to get the ball in game 1. Fleming, game 2. All he does is strike people out.
Well, and Basinius is a guy who came in here and threw everything in the 90s. He's got big league stuff. I mean, he's a guy who's going to throw at 93, 94 miles an hour. I don't know what he's doing in this league, but he's been tremendous.
Yeah, I don't know. He went to Mexico for 3 weeks, I believe, and I guess the Salt Dogs were lucky he wasn't on a very good team because they got knocked out, and he came back to the Salt Dogs, and he's made their team very good. I think he had 14 strikeouts in a game last week, so that's what we've got to look forward to next.
It's going to be a great series
on Wednesday night.
1 strike the count to the number 8 hitter Wally Backman Jr. 1-1 the count. At first base is Ryan Babineau, who drew a walk on 4 pitches to lead off this 3rd inning. And Rick Forney gave the hook to Nick Hernandez, who will start Saturday's game in Lincoln. Good lead at first base by Ryan Babineau. Oh, that hurts. That foul at the plate right off the ankle or the foot. Wally Backman's been through it enough times, but it still hurts. How's your year been? Nobody ever talks to the general manager and asks him how he's doing. They're always worried about Rick Forney or the players and everybody else.
It's been a good year. Other than the weather, which let's just say everything that we can control went very well. The All-Star game, the All-Star break.
Wasn't it great?
It was fantastic. The whole 2-day event, and you know, you're in the office. You know how much planning that took by the entire Goldeyes staff. They can't say enough about them. They put everything they had into it, and we all put on a good show.
It really was a tremendous 2 days. There goes the runner. No, he doesn't. Back to first base, and they almost make a play on Babineau. He got caught up in what I think he thought was a hit and run. You're not going to send your catcher very often. Babineau got caught, and we'll have another look at this one. He got a big jump, and then when the pitch was almost a pitch out, he was caught. Arthur couldn't get the tag down. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Backman. Here's Fowler's pitch. That's inside. 3-2 to Backman. Ferguson Jenkins was an outstanding decision. I happened to be in the meeting when the decision was made, but he was terrific at the dinner and or at the luncheon. And when we had him here, he was outstanding, and he was great with the folks. Just a real first-class guy, and to have a Canadian in the Hall of Fame really makes a huge difference. There's a ground ball to Mazzola at 3rd. Tough throw to first, and he's safe. He beats it out. Backman beats out an infield single. On to second goes Babineau. Puts runners at first and second with nobody up. We'll have another look at it. It's one off the end of the bat. Hit pretty hard, though, and a great arm by Mazzola. But Backman, a lot of speed. He beats it out. Runners at first and second with nobody out, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Drew Murin. But the decision to bring in Ferguson Jenkins, when there are lots of ball players you could have brought in.
Yeah, it was. I was actually sent an email from an agent and said, I've got all these players that I represent if you're ever looking for somebody for an event. And just so happened that we had the All-Star game coming up. And when I looked at the list, to me, there was 2 guys on the list that I really wanted to have. I thought they'd be good. They had a good story. And you know what? You make a decision and hope it turns out well, and that one turned out really well because he was just a super guy.
And
really good guy. They're willing to talk to everybody for as long as they wanted his time. At the after party, he sat around and talked to the players and league personnel and the fans. He was really good.
Here's Drew Murin. He comes in hitting .286, 8 home runs, 39 driven in. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Here's the pitch by Fowler, chopped at the plate, and Fowler gets ahead 1-2. So are the playoffs any different, or is it just for the staff and everybody else just another game? We're just gearing up for another game on Wednesday night?
It's another game, but it's a extra special game.
Well, psychologically certainly it is, but when it comes to the things that happen at the ballpark, it's another night.
It's another night. It's always, playoff crowds are great because they're into it from the first pitch to the end. Not to say that the crowd here tonight isn't, but playoff baseball is just something a little bit more. And we saw that in 2012. The crowds that we had here, they were spectacular, and hopefully we see something similar on Wednesday and Thursday night.
Boy, it'd be nice to see a crowd like tonight on Wednesday night, wouldn't it?
It would.
A great crowd tonight.
It would, and the players feed off that.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Drew Murin. Babineau's at second, Backman at first, nobody out. Pitches inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Drew Murin. How difficult is it to put a team together in the offseason for Rick and Tom and the people who have to battle to get these players to come here?
It's incredibly difficult. You got, as soon as a guy gets released, there's anywhere from 15 to 30 teams that are phoning him as he's leaving the office after he's just been told he's been released. He's bombarded with phone calls, and Rick has to be a salesman. He has to do his best sell job in 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds or less. Tell him why he should come to Winnipeg. Tell him about the city. Tell him about the ballpark. Tell him about the program he's putting together. It's very difficult. You look at the other teams in the league, and some of the teams that have struggled. A lot of it is what happens in the off season. You make 1 or 2 bad decisions, or if you have a couple guys come in that weren't in as good a shape as you'd hope they'd be, or guys get hurt. You got to have a lot of good fortune, and you got to put a lot of hard work into it too.
Here's Danny Pulfer. We go back to the top of the order as Drew Murin flies out to Reggie Abercrombie. Runners remained at first and second now with 1 out. Pulfer's 0 for 1. He struck out. This year's team I thought was really interesting because we had the conversation with Rick on a couple of occasions before the season started, and he didn't want to count his cards too early. But I think deep in his heart he knew he had a good ball club here. And I think the most interesting part was the number of guys who came here because it was the Winnipeg Goldeyes. That's really become, and Rick has said this, a little easier selling job than a lot of guys have in this league.
Well, I think a guy like Reggie, after he was released out of the Mexican League and Sioux Falls didn't have any room for him.
There's a chopper to third. It's foul.
He had a few teams that he told Steve Shirley, this is where I want to go, and Winnipeg was right at the top of the list because he's played here before. He's heard a lot of good things about Rick from Steve Shirley and other players. Guy like Brock Bond, when we were in need of a second baseman, when Blackwood had his ankle injury, the number one reason why he chose to come to Winnipeg is because he's best friends with Tyler Graham. And Tyler Graham said, if you're going to play anywhere in independent baseball, go play in Winnipeg. He played here last year. He thought we treated him well, thought it was a good place to play, and that's how Brock Bond arrived here.
There's a ground ball to Tyler Kunitz short. Over to Blackwood for 1. Back to first, the double play. The pitcher's best friend is Barry Fowler gets Danny Pulfer to hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and that does it in the third inning for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. For Gary, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's the Winnipeg Goldeyes 1, the Gary SouthShore RailCats nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Join us for our Shaw TV Volunteer BQ and learn how you can be a part of community-created television.
Chiropractors in Manitoba are passionate about the services they provide. Over the years, they've developed health and wellness programs for the public that provide preventative approaches to avoiding pain and improving daily performance. One of those programs, a program we do right here at the ballpark every night, is Straighten Up Manitoba. It'll help improve posture, stabilize core muscle groups, enhance health, and prevent problems with your spine. Complete the exercises when you have 3 free minutes anytime during your day. A message from the Manitoba chiropractors. You go to chiropractor? You ever needed a chiropractor? No, me neither. Because we're pulling tarp all the time, so therefore we're staying in remarkably incredible shape.
Yes,
Stunning condition,
incredible shape. Yes.
Morgan Coombs works into his third inning, the starter for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. You got to be impressed one thing about this Goldeyes team that Rick put together. We're into the 100th game. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. And yet these guys are playing as hard as they did in game 1.
Well, they want to keep it going. They don't want to. It's not as though you can take a few nights off and then just flip the switch come Wednesday night. They want to be in the same mind space every single game.
But then you go back to 2012, and the remarkable thing about 2012 is, remember that last series against Fargo, and they just blew us out. They blew the Goldeyes out of the building, and nobody thought Winnipeg had a chance against Fargo in the first round. And then bang, 3 games, it's over. See you later.
I think Rick was just playing possum.
Here's Luis Allen to lead it off in the third inning. My guest is Andrew Collier, the general manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. The first pitch misses inside for ball 1. That was incredible. And I remember talking to Baldwin, the left-handed relief pitcher, after the series ended. Coombs' pitch is outside, and he said, I don't think I got Nick Jackson out for 2 years. And Rick threw me in there in the first game of the playoffs and said, go get Nick Jackson with 2 on and nobody out. And he hit a little soft ground ball to second base that turned into a double play. And I said, we're going to win now. We're going to win because I got Nick Jackson out. And boy, the confidence that was gained with that first win in Fargo that year was incredible.
That was huge. I think we came from behind in 5 out of 6 games. And that year with Boyning, it was ridiculous. When he came in the 9th, nobody was hitting him.
It's a fly ball, flared out into right field, and Zach Mitchell gets out and makes the catch. Good job by Mitchell to track that one down. First out of this third inning, Ryan Pineda comes to the plate. We're talking with Andrew Collier about the 2012 Goldeyes championship season. Everybody came together, but the one thing about Boyning that I remember, and it was very interesting, that when he was out warming up, and as soon as he started running in, when Rick went out to get him, you could see the Wichita dugout sag. It was as if, well, we can't hit this guy, game's over.
And you know what? Everybody knew what he was going to throw.
Yeah.
Everybody in the ballpark, both teams knew exactly what he was going to throw, and they couldn't touch it. It was something that you don't see very often. It's not like he was blowing guys away with 100 miles an hour.
It was a little sidearm, almost submarine slider that just was unhittable. And it made guys look silly. Some of those Wichita players, they had a lot of home run hitters on that club too. Almost screwed themselves right into the batter's box trying to swing at this slider. Like that one. That was maybe the best slider of the night we've seen from Morgan Coombs. This young Pineda kid's played pretty well. Big surprise, I think.
Yeah, he's been good. He was a guy that Rick saw a lot of potential with and saw what he did with Grand Prairie last year. Decided to go out and get him.
As he strikes out on that slider, and Coombs' slider's been solid tonight. Matter of fact, the only pitch that he's missed is that slider that he hung for Casey Harthy. That's a nasty pitch. Ryan Pineda, we knew that the chances weren't good. Brock Bond, of course, the man who talked to Tyler Graham, Brock Bond has loved every minute of being here.
Yeah, he's enjoyed his time here. When I phoned him, actually, to book his ticket to Quebec City, because we were there at the time, I asked him if he ever talked to Tyler Graham, and he was sitting right beside him. He was with him in AA, staying at his place for a few days. And that's what he said. Tyler has a lot of good things to say about Winnipeg.
Bond comes in hitting .332. Still hasn't hit a home run. Has 20 runs batted in. Pitch is low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brock Bond. Jake Blackwood has been a huge addition to this organization. Outstanding player. He was in Kansas City, and I think a lot of people were surprised he didn't go back. It's home for him.
Yeah, I think that's another case of he had an opportunity to play some games in Winnipeg, and another case of Rick doing a good job selling what he's doing here.
Brock Bond grounds out to the first baseman. And that does it for the Goldeyes in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the 4th. It's still Winnipeg 1, Gary nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball. Scott Taylor with Andrew Collier. We'll be back for the 4th inning right after this, live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Visit Goldeyes.com, the official website for everything you need to know about your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Check out the players, the front office, and even the Safeway Goldeyes baseball broadcast schedule on Shaw TV. It's all right there at Goldeyes.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Goldie having way too much fun, more fun than anybody should be allowed to have. Goldie and Goldette, story tonight. It's fan appreciation night at the ballpark. We've got the 9-inning autographed player card set giveaway. We got gold Dutch chips going out. We got fireworks tonight. Booster juices on the promenade. It's a big night tonight at the ballpark. And Andrew Collier, you have to be thrilled to death. The attendance, 7,345. That's a number that you have to be very, very pleased with.
Very happy with that. Fan Appreciation Day is always a big night, but I think it's a little bit better tonight because people have been stuck inside with the terrible weather we've had lately. Even the games that we've played, the weather hasn't been spectacular, so to have clear skies, I'm sure a lot of our fans are happy to be out at the ballpark tonight.
I guess so, because they are out in droves, as you can see, and the concourse is full tonight. So with Marty 80, our concessions manager, heading back to school, it's a good night for Melissa to take all the credit for the amount of concessions that are sold, because it's a big night for the concessions guys. Barry Fowler working into his 2nd inning. He's facing Drew Martinez. The count's 1-1. Martinez is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded out to shortstop back in the 1st inning. So Wednesday night, Lincoln Salt Dogs come to town. There's a line shot, 1 hop to Jake Blackwood at 2nd base. He fires to first. First out. We'll have another peek at it. Good job by Blackwood, who was the 2nd baseman until Brock Bond showed up after Blackwood hurt his ankle. But although he's at 3rd base now, he said he can play any of the infield positions. He's probably most comfortable at 2nd, but can play 3rd, and if you need be, shortstop. This is a team that Rick has put together with a lot of versatility, because Mazzola can play shortstop, as he proved last year. You're not going to get any better than Tyler Kuhn, who maybe, if he continues to hit .360 for the rest of his career, be the greatest shortstop ever to play here.
Well, I think after we missed the playoffs in 2010, Rick made the decision that I'm going to get guys that can play every day, can play multiple positions. That way you're able to move guys around, give guys days off, keep them fresh. With all the travel in minor league baseball, it's a tough grind, and anytime you can give guys days off.
Tough play for Luis. 2 strikes to the number 3 hitter in the order, Zach Mitchell.
So other than Tyler Kuhn playing every single game at shortstop,
took a while for Luis to find it, and when he did, it was just at the backstop. It was a pretty tough play for Luis to make.
Yeah, so other than Kuhn, you've had Mazzola play right field, third, first base. Blackwood play third, second. Webb's played both left and right. And Jordan Gaida has done a great job spelling off Luis Allen.
Sure
I don't know
has.
if Luis had as many games not catching as he did this year, and that can only mean good things heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, somebody at some point in time has got to tell Luis not to play winter ball. He often plays 100 games in Nicaragua and Venezuela and Colombia and all these places when he should be resting. There's a ground ball to Jake Blackwood at second. An easy play to first base. You just got a text from our friend Josh Buchholz in Fargo.
Yeah, me and Josh, as much as our teams are bitter rivals,
it is amazing, I think.
Josh is by far my best friend in baseball. He's a great GM, great friend, and he just sent me a text wishing us luck in the playoffs. Thanks, Josh.
One ball and no strikes to Henry Wrigley, the former St. Paul Saint. Barry Fowler working into his second inning in relief of Nick Hernandez. What are your thoughts on the late trades that were made before the playoffs? A lot of movement.
A lot of movement. Yeah, some were necessitated by injury or guys getting picked up. But you know what? Rick looked at our team and decided this is it. We've run with these guys all year. I think this is the fewest total number of players we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
we've about 34, and
the core of the team never changed.
No, it was mostly pitchers that were replaced.
There's a little broken bat, one hop, barehanded by Tyler Kuhn, and Henry Wrigley is the final out of the inning. A broken bat, 6-3 putout, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Barry Fowler's looked pretty good for a 39-year-old throwing a couple of pitches, and he just saws off Henry Wrigley right here. That bat is kindling. Tyler Kuhn with another great play. Boy, he's slick. I don't know what he's doing here either. There's beautiful downtown Winnipeg. We'll have another half inning with Andrew Collier before we say goodnight. Let him go back to his birthday party with son Donovan. We got to talk about Donovan's championship season. It's Winnipeg 1, Gary nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Visit Goldeyes.com, the official website for everything you need to know about your Winnipeg Goldeyes. Check out the players, the front office, and even the Safeway Goldeyes baseball broadcast schedule on Shaw TV. It's all right there at Goldeyes.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark. We were doing Straighten Up Manitoba for the Manitoba chiropractors. It looks like some kind of Pilates thing. Doesn't it? It does. It looks, I don't know. It's good for you. Keep you loose, especially watching these Goldeyes work into the fourth inning. As Morgan Coons, who has pitched extremely well, but he trails 1-0. Winnipeg 1 run on a home run by Casey Harther. Great crowd tonight, 7,345 at the ballpark tonight. That's the best crowd of the year, isn't it? I had a couple of 7,000s, but I think this is the best.
I think it might be. Opening night was 7,100.
Yeah. Tremendous. This has been a big year for you because if this Goldeyes team can hold on, win 6 games over the next couple of weeks, and win the championship of the American Association, you will be a double champion this year. As son Donovan, who is celebrating his birthday today, also, what did he win, the Provincial Mosquito?
Provincial Mosquito AA Championship
Sensation.
with the Bonnie Vital Red Sox.
That wasn't his team, though.
No, he played for the Charleswood Goldeyes, and at the end of the season, they didn't make the provincials, and the Bonnie Vital Red Sox decided to pick him up for the provincials, because there's a lot of games in a short period of time, so you always want to have extra guys, especially for pitching, because there's pitch counts that age. And yeah, they had a great weekend, didn't lose a game, and beat St. James A's in the final, who had only lost one game all year, and it was a pretty special game.
Morgan Coombs doing a good job against Jake Blackwood. This is a great pitch. Blackwood just has to flare it off. And a great catch in the dugout. There's a fly ball into right field. Drew Martinez wanders over. He makes the catch for the first out of this fourth inning for the Winnipeg Goldeyes. That'll bring up Tyler Kuhn. Who coached that team in St. Boniface?
Darryl Bruce.
Tremendous job to get these kids to win it all, when they're not favored to win it all.
Yeah, no, he had a fantastic team and got them all going in the right direction at the right time.
Great stuff. So at least Donovan's going to be a winner this year. Now we just have to hope that the Goldeyes can make Andrew a winner. First pitch to Kuhn is the off-speed pitch. It's in there for strike one. Tyler Kuhn 0 for 1. He flied out to center field in the first inning. So tickets are on sale right now for the game Wednesday night. Goldeyes and Lincoln. Off-speed pitch misses. Give us that phone number again.
Yeah, great seats available, 855-GOLDEYE, or visit Ticketmaster.ca. If you go to Ticketmaster.ca, you can actually pick your seats right on the screen, exactly where you want to sit. And going to be two great ball games on Wednesday and Thursday. The pitching matchup with Basinius and Salamita, and then on Thursday, Hollingsworth and Fleming. You're not going to find too many better pitchers in the entire league than those four guys right there. Like, those four guys right there would probably be in the top 10 in the entire league. So if people haven't been out to a game this year and have been waiting for a good game, pick one, Wednesday or Thursday or both. Going to be great games.
Tremendous baseball. The Goldeyes and the Lincoln Salt Dogs, first round of the playoffs. The 2014 American Association Championship semifinal. Casey Harther, it's a ground ball to short. It's handled by Pulfer. Fires across the diamond. They have to put the tag on Harther, and that does it for the Goldeyes in the fourth. Nothing across for Winnipeg. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Andrew, thank you very much. Congratulations on a tremendous season. If they can hold up, it'll be 64 wins. Sure can't beat that.
That would be great.
Andrew Collier, the general manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, will be back for the start of the fifth inning. It's Winnipeg 1, Gary nothing. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball, live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway. Goldeyes Home Run Gang membership. For more information, call 982-BASE.
Welcome back to Shaw Park, where the Winnipeg Goldeyes are holding on to a 1-0 lead. Remember, if you're in the stands at today's game, if you're just watching on TV with us, share your view of the game with us on Twitter at Shaw TV Winnipeg. #FanPick. You can see the game, of course, on your phone, so I'm sure there's some people watching it. We've had a couple of tweets from people who've been watching in the ballpark. We're at Shaw TV Winnipeg. So tweet us. Twitter us? Tweet us. We love the social media here at the Shaw. Barry Fowler works into his third inning. He's done a nice job for the first two. He'll face Josh Romanski, Craig Maddox, and Ryan Babineau. Busy night for Andrew Collier, our guest in the third and fourth innings. Andrew with the birthday party for his son Donovan in the suite right beside us. The cake looks pretty good. As the Goldeyes at 63-36 try to win 64 games for the first time in franchise history. Of course, 63 is also a first. The record was set when they won their 61st game. 62 and 63 came on Saturday and Sunday, with victories over these Gary SouthShore RailCats by scores of 4-1 on Saturday and 18-5 yesterday. So here's Romanski, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Tyler Kuhn at short. Nick Hernandez started the game. He was never going to work more than 3 innings. And when he walked the leadoff man at the top of the third, Rick Forney said enough's enough. And Barry Fowler's come in and done a pretty nice job getting that double play after he got into a bit of trouble. Wally Backman beat on an infield hit, put runners at first and second. He got Drew Murin to fly to center field, and then Danny Pulford to hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And then 3 ground ball outs in the 4th. There's a little flare into center field. It's going to be a tough play. On comes Reggie, and he won't get there. It's a base hit for Josh Romanski. So Romanski with a flare single, a little duck snort out into center field. Hit it off the fist. And Reggie was playing way too deep. Tyler Kuhn couldn't get back. So runner at first with nobody out. And here comes Craig Maddox. Maddox also grounded out to shortstop Tyler Kuhn in his first trip. Goldeyes hanging on to a 1-0 lead. This game was about individual records, not about wins or losses, although the Goldeyes have said to a man that they want to continue to win heading into the playoffs, which of course start Wednesday night right here in Winnipeg. Maddox went to Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. A college that is done almost entirely in the work of Frank Lloyd Wright. He was a non-drafted free agent signed by the Tigers in 2007, played a year of rookie ball with the Tiger organization, hit .240, was released, and has played indie ball ever since. Fowler gets the sign from Luis Allen. There's the pitch, it's high. 2 balls and no strikes to Maddox. Maddox has played with New Jersey in the Can-Am League, Schaumburg in the Northern League, Worcester in the Can-Am League, and these Gary SouthShore RailCats for the past 4 seasons. There's a ground ball base hit into right field. Solid single to right field. On to third. Goes Romanski. Puts runners on the corners with nobody out. We'll have another look at it. That was hit hard by Maddox. Pineda tries to make the play to third base. Good hustle by Romanski to get all the way around to third. So a runner at third, runner at first, nobody out. Here's Ryan Babineau. Babineau walked his first trip. He was the last hitter that Nick Hernandez saw tonight. Fowler in trouble here in the 4th. Correct that, the 5th. And 1 strike to Babineau. Barry Fowler, 39 years old. Spent a lot of time away from the game, but never quit loving it. Battled to get back into the game through independent baseball. There's a ground ball up the middle. This will be 2. A run will score, but the Goldeyes will get a pair. A 4-6-3 double play hit into by Ryan Babineau. He will not get a run batted in. The run will score. Romanski comes home, but because he hit into a double play, he will not get an RBI. And we'll have another look at it. It's a 1-1 ball game, but a great job. Jake Blackwood flips to Tyler Kuhn. Kuhn with a high throw, but Harther stays on the bag to get Babineau for the 4-6-3 double play. So 2 away, nobody on. And there's a fly ball hit pretty deep into the gap, but Donnie Webb gets over quickly, and he makes the catch. One pitch, one out for Wally Backman, and that does it for Gary in the 5th inning. But Gary ties the ball game. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 4 1/2. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's Gary 1, Winnipeg 1. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball as you look at Greg Taggart live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
At Go Winnipeg, we get to do things a little bit differently than other stations.
It all starts with sitting down to draw a picture.
We go past the basic facts and become storytellers, showing viewers what's happening in the city and beyond.
And I hope one day I can play in the Olympics.
Stories that may otherwise be missed yet matter so much to our community. We even hit the scene with special event live mobile coverage. That's the Shaw TV difference.
Art, pure and simple.
Oh, does that look good? Welcome back to Fan Appreciation Night. That looks like the Magnum. There's nothing better in the world than the Magnum. It is Fan Appreciation Night and a great night tonight. The one guy that's smiling the most is the Director of Sales and Marketing of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, Dan Chase. Daniel, how does 7,345 feel tonight? Is that better than a birthday yesterday?
That does. I felt like I was 73 yesterday, but tonight's a beautiful night at the ballpark, and it's just great that our fans came out in such great numbers.
7,345 for Fan Appreciation Night as Reggie Abercrombie steps in to face Morgan Coombs. Abercrombie was hit by Coombs his first time up, right on the behind.
That was a breaking ball that did not break. I was on the other side of the ballpark, but it looked like that to me.
There's a pop-up right over our heads. Foul, 1 ball and 1 strike to Reggie. Okay, Wednesday night, Goldeyes, Lincoln. I want to come to the game. How do I get a ticket?
1-855 Goldeye is one way you can do it. Come on down to the ballpark, and we've got lots of people to help you choose those seats that way. Or Ticketmaster.ca is another way to go if you want to go online.
Goldeyes Lincoln open the playoffs Wednesday night. This is the final game of the year in case you missed it. It is Fan Appreciation Night. Fireworks tonight. Another off-speed pitch. That one crosses the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Reggie. Didn't like that call much.
64 miles an hour on that one.
It is an odd pitch. And that's what he hit Reggie with the last time. I don't think it hurt him at all.
Did he notice?
Knew it hit him. 1-2 the count. Pitch by Coombs. There it is again, and that's hit a ton. It's a line shot. It is going. It is gone. The 19th home run of the year for Reggie Abercrombie. His 74th RBI. And the Winnipeg Goldeyes quickly take a 2-1 lead. That off-speed pitch down, and Reggie just stuck the bat out, and with those quick wrists drilled it over the left field fence. This home run is brought to you by Home Run Sports. Come visit us at 20 de la Seigneurie Boulevard. Let's have a peek at this one. There's that slider. It looked like a golf shot, and he knew it was gone when he hit it. Didn't even have to bat flip it. Reggie hits his 19th of the year. Well, one more swing like that, and he gets to 20. That'd be a pretty good year for Reg. Here's Donnie Webb. The first pitch is lined into the gap. It'll drop for a base hit. Drew Mirren handles it, but it's a solid single to left center for Donnie Webb going the opposite way. And the Goldeyes get a couple of hits to open this 5th inning and take a 2-1 lead.
How about that pitch that Reggie hit? It wasn't anywhere near the strike zone. He just went down and got it.
Got the barrel of the bat on it. It's what Jake Blackwood said last night after the game. I was able to barrel a couple up. And that's what Reggie did right there. And he's got such strong hands and wrists that he just flicked it over the fence. Looks like the way you hit 9 irons, Dan.
Only once.
There's a ground ball for a base hit for Josh Mazzola. And maybe the Goldeyes are starting to get the timing on the thumber, Morgan Coombs.
You know, Scott, I'm just looking over at our radio broadcast booth, which is right next door to us. And I see that Steve Schuster has the mayor in his booth, and you're stuck with me. How did that all work out?
Well, I don't mind. You I see every day.
Wow.
There's a solid single to left field for Josh Mazzola. Boy, he started to heat up, and if Mazzola heats up come playoff time, could be scary for the Lincoln Salt Dogs. He's Luis Allen with runners at first and second and nobody out. Luis squares to bunt, and it's foul. Strike one to Luis Allen. It's a tough pitch to bunt, that slider that's moving tremendously. Coombs really moves the slider a lot like Brian Boyning used to, a lot like Taylor Suet does now for the Goldeyes.
I'd like to see Luis beat out a bunt. That'd be something.
I think he's just trying to sacrifice.
You think
Dan.
that's it? He's just not trying to bunt on to get on to first base?
I don't think he does anything to hurt his hamstrings coming out of the batter's box.
No. There's no need for that.
Oh, he hit him. There's that pitch again. That was a little faster. That was at 79. That's the second hit batsman tonight. And now the bases are loaded. We'll have another peek at this pitch. This is a fastball from Coombs, and it got away from him and hit Luis on the hip.
Tailed into him.
It did, yeah. The fastball tailed in. So here comes the pitching coach, Chad Rhodes. He's in his first season as the pitching coach for manager Greg Taggart. So all in all, as you look at 7,345 people filling this building tonight, what was your impression of the season?
You know, what a great team. You know, setting records for wins, road wins. But the most important thing is how much these guys like each other and play for each other and get along, you know. And as you know, those bus trips are long and hard to deal with. These guys have just done a tremendous job, and it's been a great season for that. I hope they keep playing the way they are and we do something special because these guys deserve it.
So here's Ryan Pineda with the bases loaded and nobody out as Morgan Coombs gets in trouble for the first time tonight. Here's the first pitch to Pineda. It's a pop-up. Hit a mile in the air. Over goes the second baseman Mitchell, and he makes the catch. So Pineda swinging at the first pitch, hits it out over second base to Zach Mitchell. That's the first out of the inning. One away, base is still loaded to bring up the number one hitter in the lineup, Brock Bond.
Good to see Brock in the lineup tonight after last night's game where he got hit by a pitch and he was a little sore. They took him out a little early, but nice to see him back in the lineup.
Well, at least he's DHing. No sense making him work too hard at second base. Jake Blackwood's done a pretty good job there whenever he's played there. As you look at Brock Bond, hitting .332 coming into the ballgame. He's 0 for 2. First pitch, and there's a fly ball into center field. Drew Murin comes on. Tagging at third base is Donnie Webb, and he'll go nowhere. Good throw by Murin to the plate, and Webb stays at third base. So the Goldeyes said the base is loaded and nobody out. Now the base is loaded and 2 out, and here comes Jake Blackwood. Jake Blackwood tonight is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and flied out to right field in the fourth. He got his batting average up to .319 after a terrible start to the season and the injuries. And he has played tremendously in this month of August. Really an important member of this club in terms of wrapping up the division, winning all those ball games down the stretch. Here's Coombs' pitch. That's low for ball one.
And how great has he been in the field? You know, we're talking about his batting average, but how great has he been defensively?
2 home runs for the Goldeyes. That's the difference in the game. A home run by Harther, a home run by Abercrombie. 2-1, Winnipeg leads it. Bases loaded. Here's Coombs' pitch. A base hit up the middle. Solid single to center. In comes Webb. Around comes Mazzola. Mazzola scores. And Luis Allen is caught between second and third, and he'll be tagged out, but the Goldeyes get a couple of runs. A 2-run single by Jake Blackwood. Let's have another look at it. A solid single to center. Murin comes in to make the play. He thinks about going home, but they get Luis Allen thinking about going to third. And Allen is thrown out. And I'll have to see the replay again to get all the numbers for that throw from center field. Regardless, the Goldeyes get a couple of runs on 4 hits, make it 4 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. We'll go to the top of the 6th inning. It's the Winnipeg Goldeyes 4, the Gary SouthShore RailCats 1. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
At Shaw TV, we are proud to bring you live events, and we value your comments. Call the Shaw TV viewer response line now, 204-480-3500, or email us, shawtvwinnipeg@shaw.ca, and let us know how we're doing. Or find us on Facebook and Twitter at Shaw TV Winnipeg.
Welcome back to the ballpark. The American Association Saves Leaders brought to you by Manitoba Hydro. Marshall Schuler, who is the relief pitcher of the year. He was the all-star relief pitcher today. Marshall Schuler has wrapped up the Saves Leaders and the Saves Championship for about a month. Basically because Matt Navarez, who is number 2, signed with Pittsburgh about a month ago. Right after the All-Star break, Navarez signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, so he's been out of the league. So Marshall Schuler, your Saves champion with 34. Chris Regas of Kansas City has 22. Winnipeg's own Chris Kissick was 17, his best ever. So Chris Kissick, the Goldeyes Saves leader, was 17. Your American Association Saves Leaders brought to you by Manitoba Hydro. Manitoba Hydro encourages everyone to be power smart. We're going to have another peek at this replay. Maybe I can get all the numbers down. There's the base hit. There's no question about the solid single, and 2 runs score to make it 4-1. Murin thinks about going home and instead goes to third to Backman. Backman flips it to Pulfer. Pulfer to Backman. Backman makes the play. So, as we sit down, it goes 8-5-6-5 on the put-up. We got it. Thanks, Dan Chakes, for
sitting here and watching how you deal with all this.
Leading it off in this top of the 6th inning is the number 9 hitter, Drew Murin. Murin is 0 for 1. So he makes the big play to end the inning, and he leads it off against Barry Fowler. Quickly 2 balls and no strikes to Murin. Up throwing for the Goldeyes is Gabe Aguilar. 2-0, the count to Murin. Pitches on the corner, 2 balls and 1 strike.
So we've got a day off tomorrow, sort of, but we're playing the first game on Wednesday night.
First game is Wednesday. Second game Thursday. There's one fouled off. 2-2, the count to Murin. The first night, Chris Salamita is going to face Joe Basinius. Wow, what a matchup that'll be. That's just tremendous. And then it's going to be Hollingsworth against Fleming. 2 spectacular pitching battles. And there's a youngster who's going to get a baseball for his birthday. Is that his birthday or his sister's birthday? Regardless, somebody just got a baseball and he wonders what it was. There's the pitch to Murin, and there's a fly ball hit deep. Reggie over makes the catch. So Murin got a lot of it, but hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, and Reggie Abercrombie, as we talk about Drew Murin himself covering a lot of ground, Reggie covers a lot of ground.
He does. He just glides out there.
There was a wide receiver for the San Diego Chargers who was just about as smooth as anybody had ever seen, and his name was Lance Allworth, and his nickname was Bambi. And that reminds me of the way Reggie Abercrombie runs in center field. Just so smooth all the time. Guess what? It's Donovan Collier's birthday.
Wow.
And we're getting cake.
How about that? This is the best job ever.
Thank you, Andrew Collier. It was your birthday yesterday. Congratulations. There are a lot of people in Winnipeg didn't think you'd get to 60.
When I was in high school, I thought 40 would be good enough. So
that's what we all thought in high school. Danny Pulford grounds out to Tyler Kuhn for the second out of this 6th inning. But happy birthday to you. We'll have this cake in honor of your birthday and Donovan's birthday. And the Goldeyes on the verge of winning 64 games this year.
Wow. I said to Rick Forney today after last night's 18 runs, I said, I really appreciated you pushing the guys to see if they could score 60 runs last night in honor of my birthday. They sure put the bat to the ball.
Drew Martinez, who's 0 for 2 in the ballgame, is Barry Fowler. Fires a fastball in the corner at 81. Fowler has been effective for the 4 innings he's worked. I've been impressed with Barry tonight. And there's one hit right off the screen in front of the Gary dugout.
You know, there's another guy, you know, seasoned.
Seasoned. He played town ball for 15 years before he got back to professional baseball.
You know,
one of the greatest stories in independent ball, Barry Fowler.
Super guy.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Off-speed pitch is dumped into left field. Webb coming over quickly, and neither Webb nor Abercrombie can get it. On to second goes Martinez. He'll hold up there. They both made the effort to shut down the inning. We'll have another peek at it. I didn't think Donnie Webb would get close to it. He almost did. Both Webb and Abercrombie diving. The ball drops between them. Gets behind Reggie. Tremendous effort. And here comes Rick Forney. And that'll be it for Barry Fowler. Barry Fowler's had his number of pitches, and Gabe Aguilar is going to come on. Fowler does a tremendous job, and thanks Luis Allen as he leaves. Great effort by Barry Fowler tonight. Allowing just 2 hits. And he tips his cap to the crowd. Nice effort by Barry Fowler.
Pitched very well.
Yeah, he did. Brand new pitcher for the Winnipeg Goldeyes is our good friend Gabe Aguilar. Gabe Aguilar is from El Paso, Texas. His folks were just in town, as a matter of fact. He's still officially a rookie status in this league. He played in Winnipeg last year, had a great season, and then had a good season this year. He's 1-0 with a 5.05 ERA. He's pitched 41 innings. Given up 9 walks, struck out 23. He is just 24 years old. He's 5'8", 165. And this season, he's had a tremendous year. 7-2 with a 3.23 ERA. He's been in 40 games. This is his 41st appearance. He started 2 of them. He's had 47 1/3 innings pitched. So about 7 or 8 more than last year by the time he's done his stint tonight. Given up 39 hits, 20 runs, only 17 earned. Walked 15, struck out 38. Opponents hitting just 223 against him. He is not the tallest man on the ball club. Fact is, he's 5'8", 165. And the 5'8" is questionable.
That is true.
So Gabe Aguilar, the brand new pitcher for the Winnipeg Goldeyes, and Gregory is into it tonight.
Gregory's not even working tonight. He's making a special appearance, you know. Can't keep a good man down.
Well, Gregory got a little bit of press this week, and it kind of has changed his approach.
So the truth about Gabe Aguilar is that he's a rookie, right? He's still rookie classified?
He is still a rookie, although he's in his 2nd year. The way it works in independent baseball, you get 2 seasons as a rookie if you have not played professionally anywhere else. So Gabe's 2nd year as a rookie. Dancing Gregory just finished his performance and got some bravos from this big crowd tonight. So runner at second with 2 away. A left-handed pitching Aguilar will face the left-handed hitting Zach Mitchell. Goldeyes with 4 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The RailCats 1 run on 4 hits and no errors. There's a ground ball up the middle. Over goes Blackwood, turns, fires. Mitchell beats it out. It'll be an infield single for Zach Mitchell. On to third goes Martinez. Runners at the corners with 2 away, and that'll bring up a tough out, Henry Wrigley.
And that was a tough play.
Well, it was, as soon as it got past Aguilar, it looked like it was probably going to be a base hit.
Yeah, he was close to that.
Good effort by Blackwood and a good throw, but Mitchell a lot of speed. Beats it out. So runners on the corner. It's the 5th hit of the night.
Boy,
for the Gary SouthShore RailCats.
Did it turn out nice tonight?
Oh, isn't it gorgeous? What a beautiful, beautiful night. There's a pitch right down the middle. A fastball at 82 from Aguilar to Wrigley. Martinez is at third. He doubled. Mitchell is at first. Infield single. Aguilar with a tough out here in Wrigley. Here's the pitch. Off speed pitch just misses inside. 1-1. Henry Wrigley, as we mentioned, spent most of the season with the St. Paul Saints. Was one of many late moves. The big one sent Abel Nieves, one of the best ball players in the league, to Wichita, as if they weren't good enough as it is.
Be interesting to see how St. Paul retools their lineup for next season, moving into that brand new ballpark.
$60 million ballpark.
It's going to be something.
Wow. In downtown St. Paul, about 12 blocks from the XL Energy Center.
Yep, they've always been a model franchise, and it's good for them to have that type of facility, that's for sure.
Well, the parks in this league are getting pretty tremendous. Here's the pitch by Aguilar. Off-speed pitch drilled foul. Wrigley got all of it, but was way out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Henry Wrigley. The park in Lincoln is as nice a park as you're going to find. Of course, it's right on the campus of the University of Nebraska. That's why they couldn't play Saturday, because they had to use the parking lot for the Nebraska football game. 107,000 to watch the Nebraska football game. So the Lincoln Salt Dogs sent the Sioux City Explorers home because there were no hotels in the area.
How's that for a story?
There's a pitch just missed. Gabe thought he had strike 3. It's 2-2. Gabe thought he had that one. Have another peek at it. This didn't miss by much. Boy, oh boy, that was close.
How do you lay off of that?
That's exactly right. That's too close to take. Runners on the corners. 2 away. And Aguilar goes to first base. So if somebody wants to partner with the Winnipeg Goldeyes, do they call you?
Sure, I'm just sitting around waiting for that. You know, that's the best thing in the world. We've got a lot of loyal sponsors, and for many, many years, right since the inception, a lot of our sponsors, and we're always looking to add some more.
It's a ground ball to Kuhn at short. He goes to second to get the lead runner, and that does it. For the Gary SouthShore RailCats in the 6th inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We played 5.5. I'm kicking you out.
Am I gone?
Look what's behind us.
Uh-oh.
I like you a lot.
That's a way more interesting guy.
That's a lot more interesting, I'm afraid.
For sure.
Dan Chase, tremendous guest. Once again, remember, as Dan says, just drop by, pick up a ticket Wednesday night. Goldeyes, Lincoln Salt Dogs.
Come on up, let's go Goldeyes.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dan Chase, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy Donovan's cake, because you deserve a cake. The Goldeyes are leading at 4-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and we'll have a brand new guest, and he'll be a dandy. Coming right up. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
From Ranger Insurance, this is Winnipeg on the Go, your weekly event listings keeping you connected to our community. ManyFest is a downtown street festival that celebrates everything downtown Winnipeg has to offer, featuring food truck wars, a movie in the park, wine and beer gardens, dance parties, and much more. Visit manyfest.ca for the full schedule of events. The 2nd annual Manitoba Fiber Festival connects fiber producers, spinners, knitters, weavers, and felters from urban and rural communities, featuring local vendors, educational workshops, and demonstrations. For more information, please visit manitobafiberfestival.com. The 13th annual Ovarian Cancer Canada Walk of Hope will host hundreds of Winnipeggers walking in a nationwide effort to raise funds and awareness for ovarian cancer. Visit ovariancancerwalkofhope.ca to learn more about this event. The 2014 Kidney Ride, Glide, and Stride is a family-focused, non-competitive 2K walk, 5K run, or 10K bike ride, with all funds raised going towards helping Manitobans affected by kidney disease. To learn more, please visit kidney.ca/Manitoba. Would you like your event listed on television and online? Send your listing to Shaw TV Winnipeg at shaw.ca. To find more events, visit our website, shaw.ca/shawtv/Winnipeg. Winnipeg on the Go is brought to you by Ranger Insurance.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Tyler Kuhn has seen 2 pitches from Morgan Coombs here in this bottom of the 6th inning. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. My very special guest, and he is very special because he does the best George W. Bush impersonation of anybody I've ever met, is Matt Jackson, the right-handed starter of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here as Tyler Kuhn strikes out to start the 6th inning. Matt, this is your 2nd year in Winnipeg. Was it as good as your first?
It is. It's. I like playing in the city. I like playing for Rick. He puts together a good group of guys. We play well together, and it's a great time here in Winnipeg. Enjoy playing in front of the fans we have here, the amount of fans we have. It's nice with the support that they bring with to us.
73-45 tonight. Great crowd tonight.
Yes, great crowd.
And thanks for coming up from the dugout to join us.
No problem. It's a great view up here. You can see everybody. Isn't it? Yeah, this is very nice up here.
1 strike to Casey Arthur, the number 2 hitter in this inning for the Goldeyes. Arthur tonight has a home run in 2 official trips to the plate. He grounded out to short in the 4th after hitting a home run, a solo job in the 2nd. Put the first run on the board tonight, 1-1 to count to Arthur. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. My guest, Matt Jackson. Matt, last year when you came here, what was your reasoning for coming here? And do you think it was your right decision?
I got released from the Padres towards the end of July. Rick called me about 3 days later. I was heading home. My little brother came to visit me, and he was making the drive back to Louisiana with me from California. And Rick called me and spit his pitch to me and and told me, he said, I don't want to bother you. I know you got a lot going on, but he just wanted to let me know, hey, we'd like to have you up here, and when you get back, think things over, and then possibly give me a call. So I did. I got back home. I made a few phone calls to some guys who played up here, played in this league, and who had actually played in Winnipeg. I knew Mark Hardy at the time. So I called and talked to Mark, and Mark kind of reeled me in, and he said, if you're going to play independent ball, this is a place to play. It's a nice place to play. They take care of you here, and if you want to keep playing, this is the place to come to. So I made the decision, and I'm glad I did. I've enjoyed playing here, and I hope to continue to play here.
Now, like everybody else who comes up here, as Casey Arthur draws a walk, that's a runner at first with 1 away. Your goal is to get back to organized baseball. I mean, you're looking for another opportunity to try to get to the majors.
Yeah, possibly. There's got to be. I was in high for 2 years. I showed that I could be successful in AA and AAA, so I'd like to get a shot back at AA. I would rather not go back to A-ball. I've actually had talks of overseas in the off season the past 2 years, so hoping to see if that maybe falls through. If not, then I'd like to come back here and play for Rick and play for the Goldeyes.
Matt Jackson, our guest, Goldeyes right-handed starter. What's your assignment for the playoffs? Game 4?
Game 4. Sunday. If needed.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it wasn't.
Right.
I mean, take the day off with the thinking about starting the first game of the 2nd round.
Right. That'd be good. That would be good. We're playing good baseball right now. Guys are swinging the bats well, and the starters are doing well going into the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, doing their job, and bullpen's coming in and closing the door. So if we can keep doing that and playing the same baseball we have been all year, we got a chance to bring home another title.
You make the game sound simple.
Right. We try to. We try to make it as simple as possible. It's an easy game. We throw the ball, catch the ball, and we hit the ball, and we try to do it as many times as we can successfully.
Well, this team this year has won 63 games already, and you've played with a lot of ball clubs. Where would you rank this one?
This has probably been one of the most talented, best chemistry teams that probably I've been a part of in all of my professional baseball. I was in low A 2 years, high 2 years, had some stints in AA and AAA, and you know, this is just a good group of guys. These guys pull for each other. We've got a lot of talent. I've been on some teams that are talented that didn't really quite mix well in the clubhouse. Not to say it's anything bad. It's just, you know, the feel of things. You're going to have a little bit of guys who are keep themselves, guys who are the class clowns, and you know, and it's a good group of guys. I think we got a variables throughout the clubhouse. I mean, Reggie makes it loose in the clubhouse. You got some veterans, you got rookies. It's just, I think Rick did a very good job putting together the group of guys that he did.
Matt Jackson, our guest, a right-handed starter for the Winnipeg Goldeyes, who will start Game 4 of the first round of the playoffs against the Lincoln Salt Dogs, if necessary, as Reggie Abercrombie swings and misses on strike 3. Ian Kadish warming up for the RailCats down in the bullpen. There's a tough pitch for Reggie. A lot of movement on Coombs' slider. How'd you learn to play the game? How'd you learn to pitch? I always wondered how guys make the decision at some point in their lives that they're going to be pitchers, not position players. And what was your story?
I was never the hard thrower growing up. I was athletic enough I could play anywhere in the field. Was not a very good hitter, though, by any means. I was a baby deer trying to swing a bat. But I threw strikes. I could get a curveball over the plate. Probably threw a curveball too young. Luckily, it didn't mess with my arm growing up. But never really threw hard enough to hurt my arm. But threw strikes and gave us a chance to, you know, win ball games growing up. And I think that kind of played going into high school and college and professional. I always threw strikes. Never really walked a lot of guys. I've walked a lot of guys this year, but in years past, I've always been known to fill up the zone and put the ball in play.
There's a pop-up foul on a play. Donnie Webb, the hitter, with Casey Harthard first and 2 away. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning in the final game of the season. The Winnipeg Goldeyes and the Gary SouthShore RailCats. Our guest, Matt Jackson, Goldeyes starter. How many pitches do you throw now?
I throw a 4-seam and a 2-seam fastball. I consider my 2-seam somewhat of a sinker and running fastball now. It's different from the 4-seam now over the years. I throw a circle change, a curveball, and a slider.
So you come in basically as a 5-pitch guy.
Basically, yes.
That's a lot of pitches to be throwing. How is Luis Allen or Jordan Guida to work with when you've got that many pitches to throw?
Well, I've worked with them a few times. They kind of know we've got a feel. They know kind of if I shake from something, depending on where we're at in the count, what I usually want to go to. And we've got a game plan on certain guys, but we've worked together enough that we kind of got a good idea about it. I dominantly stay with the fastball a lot. I like to live with my fastball. Throwing against Gary is a different story. I threw a lot more breaking balls the other day against him, but I like to live my fastball, and then we kind of go to from there. And they've got a good game plan. I usually stick with them.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Donnie Webb. Matt Jackson, our guest. Casey Harthard, first base. Here's the pitch. That misses outside. 2-2 to Donnie Webb. What do you do in the off season?
In the off season, if I can, I try to spend as much time as I can with my baby niece. She's just turned 3 June 21st. She is my world. Other than that, I am working at UPS, and I give pitching lessons when I can. I try to work with as many kids as possible. I had about 13 kids last year I was working with. I enjoy doing that. I don't do many groups. I like to do the one-on-one stuff. I like to work with the kids. I like to mountain bike ride with my little brother, and I go golfing with my older brother. And other than that, spend the weekends with my family watching football and a lot of family time.
There's a little pop-up. Pull for the shortstop, calls for it, makes the catch. And that'll do it for this 6th inning. The Goldeyes, no runs, no hits. There was a walk, no errors, 1 man left. Matt Jackson, thank you very much.
Appreciate
an opportunity to meet Matt Jackson, Goldeyes starter. We're going to bring in Nick Hernandez for the top of the 7th inning. It's fun tonight. It's 4-1. Goldeyes lead it with 7,300 in the ballpark. A cast of thousands in the press box. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Join us on Shaw TV this fall for our 2014 Mayoral Forum, brought to you by Winnipeg Realtors. We'll be live from the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center, October 9th at 7 p.m. Have a say in our city's next mayor. Join the conversation online at Shaw TV Winnipeg, #YourMayor. Your Mayor, the 2014 All Candidates Mayoral Forum, only on Channel 9, Shaw TV.
Welcome back. That's why you bring your glove to the game. Look for somebody to play catch with. Nick Hernandez played catch for 2 innings tonight, and he has joined us here in the spectacular, palatial Shaw booth here at
very
Shaw
special.
Park. Nick, congratulations on being named Pitcher of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Tremendous story. You were just about finished, weren't you?
I was. You know, I was about 2.5 years in injury. Shoulder just wasn't cooperating with me, and was.
Tell us about the injury.
It was a labral tear with some rotator cuff fraying, rotator interval. Was sliding open, I guess, would be the surgical term that they used with me when they were trying to explain exactly what was going on with my shoulder. So I had to get tacks put into my shoulder to put my labrum back into place. Had to get my rotator cuff kind of, I guess, they just kind of cleaned it up. There was no tacks put into my rotator cuff, which I think saved my career. Anytime you start putting those types of things into the rotator cuff, which is a huge muscle you have to throw with, it usually affects you a lot more than just a labrum surgery does. So went in for the first surgery, and you know, success rate after that's about 85%. Came back, and like I said, wasn't feeling the same. Just wasn't feeling the same after that first surgery, and then went back in for a second one, and luckily enough they didn't have to repair the labrum again. It was more of just getting some scar tissue out of the way.
Solid single to right field for Josh Romanski, leading it off here in the 7th inning. It's Romanski, Maddox, and Babineau to face Gabe Aguilar. Our thanks to Matt Jackson, our first guest, and our second guest now, Nick Hernandez, who was just named Pitcher of the Year in the American Association. Is that a big deal to you?
It definitely is. I mean, coming out here, didn't really know what to expect from independent baseball. Just knew that I was coming to a great location for independent baseball. Knew I was coming to a winning organization. Just wanted to try and contribute as much as possible. And from the look of things, you know, I've contributed enough to get us into the playoffs. Everybody's done their part throughout the year, definitely. And, you know, it's something that I definitely hang my hat on for sure. It's a great accomplishment, not just for me, but for the team as well. You know, it says a lot when you could have a possible 12-game winner. You know, and if Matt gets some help there his last outing, he's another 12-game winner. We would have 2 on the staff. Salamita's gone deep in the games for us. Our starting rotation's been great. Hollingsworth, and then that 5th spot's kind of bounced back and forth between a couple guys, and now Bollinger's filled that role. Pretty good for our team, and you know, to win 63 ball games on the year, a possible 64th here if we hold on to the lead, it's something very special, and it's something that we all get to share memories of going forward with our lives.
Have you had fun with this pitching staff? Because you look at the first 4 guys in the staff. Yourself, Matt, Chris Salamita's been tremendous. Ethan Hollingsworth has been outstanding. Do you kind of work together? I mean, pitching is sort of a lonely business, but with a staff like this, I would suspect you talk to each other.
Yeah, we do. It's something. Hollingsworth and I were the new guys into the staff, joining Jackson, Jarvis, and Salamita to start the year, and so you know, we really kind of had to find our way. But those guys were great in you know, paving the way for us, telling us the important things around the league, what to look for, guys' approach around the league, guys that they've seen before. So you know, it was something that we had to take in stride. You know, I struggled personally early on. You know, Ethan came in, and with his experience in AA and AAA ball, it's something that I hadn't have. He jumped right on the mound, and he was able to execute his pitches, and been pitching really well for us. We look forward to seeing that in Game 2 of the playoffs after Salamita goes out there and pitches a great Game 1 for us. But like I said, you know, those guys really paved the way for us. They showed us exactly what we needed to do in this league. And, you know, although I struggled early on, you know, just following Salamita in the rotation because he got pushed back a couple times and ended up falling right in front of me. So, you know, following him in the
Speaking of great pitches, that was a great pitch.
That was a
right
great
there.
slider by Gabe right there. You know, he's had a great year. Gabe's been a guy, I think that was his 41st appearance of the year, which I think it sets a Goldeyes franchise record, having 4 bullpen guys come in for 40 appearances. You know, it's something special our bullpen's done. Our entire staff. You know, if it's not one guy, it's another guy. Every night it seems like our pitching keeps us in the game, and our offense does does more than enough to win ball games for us.
Gabe Aguilar with a tremendous performance tonight. All the pitchers have done a good job. The guy we're talking to right now, Nick Hernandez, started it off. Then came Barry Fowler. Then Gabe Aguilar, and here comes Keohi Downing. He is the 4th pitcher of the night for the Goldeyes, and Keohi Downing is the Hawaiian. Keohi Downing from Honolulu. Of course, if you're a surfer, you know the name Downing. It is legendary in the surf business, and of course his grandfather, George, was great friends with Duke Kahanamoku, the king of surfing in Hawaii. So the Downing family, kings of curling, Keohi Downing, kings of the bullpen. He's 5'11", 189, 28 years old, from Honolulu. And this season, Keohi's been around, but in total, he's got an ERA of 5.13. He's got a 1-2 record, 37. This is his 38th appearance. He's pitched 33 1/3 innings. He has given up 34 hits, 19 runs. All 19 are earned. He's walked 18, struck out 29. Opponents hitting .272 against him. So Keohi Downing comes into the game as the 4th pitcher of the night. Was that kind of the plan for you guys tonight?
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, we have an off day tomorrow. We just wanted to get everybody's arms going. You know, our manager, Rick, he asked me today how many innings I'd like to go, and I told him I just wanted to keep my routine going. 2 to 3 innings. I got to start in 5 days, so there was no sense in me going out there and going 7 or 8 innings. And possibly being somewhat fatigued for the Game 3 in Lincoln. You know, so we just decided as a pitching staff we were just going to let myself go 2 to 3 innings, let Barry Fowler come in because he formerly played for Gary South Shore, and so we wanted to come in and hopefully give him a lead and he could get a win against his former team. And, you know, Barry's a guy who came in and he fit right into our clubhouse. You know, it's something special that he's done throughout his career. You know, going on his on the leave that he had to leave baseball for. You know, it was his story is something special. Along with a lot of those guys in the clubhouse, he came in, fit right in, and then from there, you know, it was just let's throw some bullpen arms, get them work, get them prepared for this playoff series coming up.
So Keohi Downing joins Gabe Aguilar and Barry Fowler as the relief pitchers. There's a throw to second base, and it's a stolen base for Josh Romanski on the first pitch from Downing. We'll have another look at it. Downing throws the fastball outside. Good throw by Luis, but a great jump by Romanski. And he steals second. Goldeyes lead at 4-1. Did you want to go 5? Get the 13th win? Did you have that in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I had it in the back of my mind. You know, our pitching coach came up to me and asked me if I'd rather come out of the bullpen and throw the 4th and 5th, possibly to get the 13th win. But you know, it's not about getting number 13. It's about, more importantly, getting number 64 as a ball club, and me just staying with a routine. You know, it's very important as a starter to stick to your routine. Going out there, your pregame stretches, your pregame throwing, your pregame bullpen. I really needed to do that so I could continue improving, I guess, throughout the season and whatnot. So, you know, it was important for me to get my work in today. Even though it was on 3 days rest, I still needed to get my work in. You know, throw my pregame bullpen, my pregame long toss, and everything to be prepared today. And you know, I didn't want to change anything going into the bullpen, having to warm up quickly, not long tossing with my start. I've never been a bullpen guy, so it's something that would have been new to me, and I didn't think that it would have been a good idea doing that before the playoffs.
Your home is Hialeah, Florida. You're a left-handed baseball pitcher and a right-handed football quarterback. Explain that.
Yeah,
as Ryan Babineau draws a walk.
Yeah.
Runners at first and second with one away and brings up Wally Backman Jr.
Yeah, my birthplace is Hialeah, Florida. My new home is Madison, Tennessee,
which is near Nashville.
Yeah, it's a suburb of Nashville. So, but growing up in Miami, you followed the Dolphins, and you somewhat followed the Marlins, but not really. It was more Atlanta Braves.
How about the Florida Panthers?
No, hockey's hockey's not a big sport down there. I personally never went to a Florida Panthers game in the 18 years that I lived down there. First hockey game I ever went to was, I guess it would be considered minor league hockey in Knoxville. We had the Knoxville Ice Bears.
Sure.
And, you know, went to a couple games there. And that was the first time I ever
Well, now you've got the Nashville Predators.
Now I got
You've
the
got to
Predators.
get to an
and
NHL
people
game.
in my host family here in Winnipeg can't believe that I can go and get walk-up tickets. And, you know, you don't pay very much for the tickets because it's still a part of the South. We don't really follow hockey that much. You know, we had...
My daughter lives in Orlando. And when StubHub takes... Let's have another look at this double steal as Keohee Downing throws the fastball strike. Good throw by Allen, but great jump on Downing again. Romanski takes third, and Ryan Babineau on to second. So runners at second and third with one away. Here in this top of the 7th inning. There's a pitch right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. While I make fun of you about hockey, but my daughter's in Orlando and can get on StubHub and get Tampa Bay Lightning tickets starting when the Islanders come to town for 99 cents in third deck.
Oh, I'm sure.
Although it's getting a little more expensive now. Tampa's done a pretty good job with that organization.
They have. Yeah, I spent some time down there in Clearwater with the Phillies, and you know they're starting to generate a little bit of buzz.
Facility.
Yeah, it is very
Clearwater
nice.
facility.
They're starting to generate a lot of buzz down there with their hockey in Tampa Bay. I believe they made a big trade before the trade deadline in hockey last year, and they got Callahan.
Ryan Callahan for Marty St. Louis, who of course didn't see eye to eye with Steve Yzerman, and that was good night, my love. 2-2 the count to Backman. There's the fastball fouled off. Count remains 2-2. So anyway, so you're in Florida, and everybody's a Dolphins fan, and you've decided that you're going to look like Dan Marino and throw it right-handed.
That's right. It's something that I took pride in growing up. I just wanted to be like Dan the Man, just like every other kid down there in Miami. You know, he gave all the kids in Miami hope to be a quarterback in the NFL. So I started picking up a football right-handed and throwing it. And like I said, I watched the Atlanta Braves a lot growing up on TBS. They were always on TV down there. They're in the same division as the Marlins. And, you know, watching Tom Glavine pitch and Avery, you know, you're seeing two left-handed pitchers, and you just want to be like them as well. And so I started picking up a baseball left-handed. And that's the way it kind of went.
There's a ground ball to Blackwood at second. Has trouble handling it. Gets it to first. They get Wally Backman, but the run scores. Backman gets the run batted in. Second run of the game for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. That makes it 4-2. Tough play here. Kind of an in-between hop. Blackwood keeps it in front of him. Has to fire to first to get Backman, who is always hustling. That's it for Keohee Downing. And we're going to see our 5th pitcher of the night. As you see, Keohee Downing leaving. Is that
Taylor Bratton?
Taylor Bratton. Hey, we get the Canadian into the ball game. One of the 2 Canadians on this roster. Taylor Bratton from Oakville, Ontario. Bratton is 6'2", 190. Played at West Alabama University in Division II of the NCAA. He's the youngest guy on this roster at just 23. And this season for Bratton, his first season coming essentially right out of the Intercounty League in Ontario. He has no record, but a 3.07 ERA. This is his 12th appearance. He's pitched 14 2/3 innings, given up 15 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 7 walks against only 4 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .263 against him. So the left-hander, Taylor Bratton from Oakville, Ontario, steps in to try to close out this inning as the Goldeyes lead is cut to 4-2. And on to third base goes Ryan Babineau. And it'll be a run batted in for Wally Backman, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, the left-handed hitting Drew Murin. It looks like everybody's going to get into this ball game before it's over. Jackson had better get downstairs and get out to the bullpen and start warming up, because it looks like everybody's going to throw at least to one batter tonight. Was this the right decision for you to make in the situation you were in?
It definitely was. You know, coming into it, I really didn't know what to expect, but I know I still wanted to play baseball. I wasn't ready to be a coach of my nephew's team yet. He started T-ball up. Tomorrow he starts up his first little practice. They're getting together or whatnot. So he really wants me to be a coach, but I told him, you know, I'll be there when I get there.
What is this, the Tennessee Fall League that he plays in?
Yeah. You
Tennessee Fall League T-ball.
In the fall, we still get to play down there. The weather's not too bad. You know, we still enjoy the leaves falling and whatnot. It's 50, 60 degrees outside, so little kids run around the field and they enjoy it. And it's going to be his first year playing. You know, he's gone and watched some games, So, you know, I look forward to that. But
you didn't want to coach it?
I didn't want to coach, not yet. You know, I still feel I was blessed with the surgery that I had. I had 2 shoulder surgeries, and so they pretty much gave me a brand new arm as long as I took care of it. And, you know, I've been taking care of myself, my arm, for the last 2 years now after the surgery and whatnot. So it was something that, you know, I was blessed with a new arm, and I'm going to throw as long as this arm allows me to, definitely. So, you know, like I said, I didn't know if this was the right choice, me coming here, because I just didn't know what to expect. But it turns out that it was the best decision I've ever made.
So if you don't get a call from an organization in the off season, will you be back?
Yeah, I'll be back. You know, coming into it, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but now I do. I know this is a wonderful place to play baseball. The fan support is unbelievable. We go on the road for 50 of our games, and there's no fans like Winnipeg fans when it comes to the American Association. They support you 100%. The people around town. It's a hard hit ball right there.
There was a hard hit ball right through Josh Mazzola at third base. It'll be a base hit for Drew Murin, and it will drive in a run to make the score 4-3. Right between the wickets. And it will now be an error. It'll be an error to Mazzola at third. No run batted in. Taylor Bratton is done. He pitched to 1 batter. Murin was safe on an error. Scoring from third base is Babineau to make the score 4-3. And we get another brand new pitcher. It's Taylor Suet. This is becoming pitcher carousel.
Yeah, it is.
For the Goldeyes.
We got Suet coming in now, but we still have 2 of our best arms down there. So
Taylor Suet is 6'2", 195. He's from Highland Mills, New York. He is officially a rookie, although he did play last year with both Gary and Winnipeg in this league. He's 24 years old. Taylor Suet this season has had a pretty good year. He's got a 2.95 ERA. His record's 1-1. He's been in 41 games, so this is 42nd appearance of the year. One of those 4 bullpen work horses that this team has. That's right. Has appeared in at least 40 games. 42 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 41 hits, 16 runs, 14 of them earned. He's walked 12, struck out 27. Opponents hitting .263 against him. So Taylor Suet, the side armor. Did you ever think of going to that after your arm operation?
No, I never gave that thought. You know, I did. Like I said, I've never pitched in the bullpen, and you know that style of pitching is suited more for the bullpen.
It is.
You
don't see many starters who throw like this.
No, you definitely don't. So I was always a starting pitcher, and I knew that if it was going to take a long transition to start throwing like that, you know, he's been doing it for a while now, and so he's used to it. I know a lot of guys, they say it takes at least anywhere from 8 months to a year in order to feel comfortable throwing like that. So, you know, it's something that he's worked hard on doing, and it shows. You know, he's been very successful this year. Been like you said, one of our big workhorses out of the bullpen, and he's coming in to face his former team as well in Gary. He played there last year before Winnipeg acquired him from Gary after I believe they waived him. And so, you know, I'm sure he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, definitely wanting to get out of this inning for us.
So we go back to the top of the order. It's the always difficult to get out Danny Pulfer, who's 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out in the first inning to a double play in the third and grounded out to Tyler Kuhn in the 5th. So Suet checks the runner. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt, ball 1. Our guest is Nick Hernandez, and thanks to Matt Jackson, who is our first of 2 guests from the starting rotation. Rick was in a good mood today when I asked him if we could talk to the pitchers. His response was, yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
You win 63 games, your manager gets into a pretty good mood.
Yeah, he does. You know, it's been a pleasure playing for Rick. It definitely has.
It's got to help you the fact that he was a pretty good pitcher himself.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he doesn't really like to get involved with the pitchers as much. Being a manager,
trying to let Jamie do his job.
Yeah, he definitely lets our pitching coach Jamie do his job. But, you know, if he sees a guy struggling, he'll definitely be the one to put an arm around you and talk to you a lot like a father would.
Well, he's the last guy to walk out when you're done, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's not Jamie who takes out the pitchers.
No, yeah, it's definitely Rick. You know, he's had a great run here in Winnipeg. you know, he's looking to continue that. But he's been great throughout all of us. You know, he's, along with the Winnipeg organization and Andrew in the front office, Rick's given us a second chance at baseball. You know, he all of us, you know, we could be home right now, not an affiliated ball, but, you know, Rick picks up the phone and he gives guys chances to extend their playing career and get that other shot. You know, he's not the one to judge whether somebody's career should be over. It should be that individual, and if you just can't play the game anymore. And so he gives people a chance to play this beautiful game of baseball.
There's a solid single to left field for Pulford. On to second base goes Murin. And this inning continues. And here comes Rick Forney again. And that'll be it for Taylor Suet. He got his one batter tonight. Gave up a single.
Yeah, with two lefties, it looks like Lafferty's going to be coming in.
So here comes Brendan Lafferty. The Goldeyes continue to lead at 4-3. Taylor Bratton pitched to one batter. Taylor Suet pitched to one batter. Keoe Downing pitched to two. And what started out as just another seventh inning has become a long seventh inning.
Yeah.
And you ended up being here longer than you thought you would be.
Yeah, Matt was in and out.
Matt was in and out.
Yeah.
You're now the official color commentator.
Am I the jinx here?
Of Goldeyes baseball. Maybe that's it. The brand new pitcher is Brendan Lafferty, 6'4", 185. And you talk about a workhorse, you talk about Brendan Lafferty. He's got a 2.37 ERA. This is his 55th appearance of the year. His record is 0-2. He's pitched 49 1/3 innings, given up 38 hits, 16 runs, only 13 of them earned, 22 walks to 50 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just .209 against Brendan Lafferty from Riverside, California, who has decided to spend a little more time in Winnipeg this winter. I think he's crazy. I'd have gone back to California, but he is so hooked on hockey, and he is so convinced he's going to be the next great left-handed curler that he and Josh Drews are putting together a curling team of renown.
Yeah, we always say Laff got pegged.
So he did. He got pegged. He did. That's true.
We call it the peg. You know, he fell in love with this city. You know, there's a lot of things to love about this place. The winter, being from California, is probably not one of the things that you fall in love with. But
he's been a hockey fan his whole life.
His whole life, yeah. He said his best friend loved the Vancouver Canucks, and you know, he decided to start following the Canucks at an early age and fell in love with hockey. And then I believe he said last summer he fell in love with curling. So, you know, it's something that Laff, if there's one guy who could do something like curling, it would definitely be Laff. I love watching it, but I don't know how great I would be on the ice having to throw the stones, I believe they're called.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Rock stones.
Rock stones,
Very
yeah.
nice. Goldie'd make a good curler. I think Laff and Drews will be just tremendous. They're also going to be the public address announcers for St. Boniface Riel's hockey in the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League.
Nice. Yeah, I came across Lafferty in spring training with the Philadelphia Phillies. And so coming here, saw him the first day, and, you know, he remembered me from spring training. I remembered him, and so we kind of spoke that first day, and he was telling me that, you know, he moved here and whatnot. So, you know, we started talking about that. You know, he said he loves it here, so, you know, I don't know if I'm as brave as he is to take on this winter up here, but, you know, I'll try my best as long as I'm here, that's for sure.
Well, Laff got a coat. He seems to be doing quite well.
Yeah, definitely.
1 ball and no strikes to Drew Martinez. There's a pitch high and inside. There is nobody left throwing, so Lafferty's going to be asked to get at least 4 outs, I would suspect, before Chris Kissick comes on in the 9th. Runners at first and second, 2 away. We're in the top of the 7th inning. It's been a long top of the 7th. Goldeyes try to hold on to a 4-3 advantage. Pitch is high, ball 3. So Lafferty comes in and throws 3 out of the strike zone. That's another reason why I don't see you as a relief pitcher. It's just the whole mentality of picking up somebody else's base hits and walks.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you're coming in without a clean inning most of the time. You got to bail another guy out of an inning. It's a mentality that, you know, a lot of us, is that going to,
The fly ball foul, just foul off the bat of Martinez, makes it 3-1.
You know, it's as a starter, you get to go out there, you put yourself in situations for the most part, you try to work your way out of them. But it's something different when you get yourself into it. As a starter, it's tough when a bullpen guy comes in and you put him in a bad situation. He's got to try and get you out of it. It's never a good feeling sitting in the dugout knowing that you put that guy in that situation. But they definitely, our bullpen guys have the mentality of trying to get you out of that situation, and they've done a great job throughout the year at doing that.
Lafferty's fastball just misses and the bases are loaded. Martinez draws a walk. On to third goes Murin. Over to second goes Pulfer. Martinez at first, and here comes Zach Mitchell. Another left-handed hitter for Lafferty. But a tougher strike zone. The short guys bother you as a pitcher?
They do. You know, the strike zone seems to really shrink up when they're up there. You know, Mitchell, he's not your prototypical three-hole guy. He's not going to drive the ball out of the ballpark. Let's knock on wood here. But, you know, he's definitely a guy who's going to battle. He's going to take some pitches. He's going to see the pitch he likes to hit. He's going to poke it into the outfield somewhere. You know, he's definitely a guy that you don't want to get behind and give him a pitch right down the middle, because he can make you pay for it, definitely.
So Zach Mitchell tonight is 1 for 3. He grounded out to first in the first, grounded out to second in the fourth, beat on an infield hit in the sixth. There's a line shot foul. 1-1 the count to Mitchell. Great night for baseball. Beautiful evening at the ballpark. Crowd has hung around here for a 4-3 ball game. Of course, there's fireworks after. Can't beat the fireworks show.
No, definitely not. Everybody loves to stick around for the fireworks. It's a great show they put on after the game. And, you know, we like watching them from our dugout.
Off-speed pitches in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitchell. Murin at third. Pulfer at second. Martinez at first. Goldeyes lead at 4-3. We're in the top of 7. My guest is Nick Hernandez, named today Pitcher of the Year in the American Association. Something you expected when you arrived and had 3 tough starts to begin your career?
Yeah, definitely not. That was the last thing on my mind. I was just thinking about trying to go out there and give my team a quality start. You know, it was something after those first 3 starts. I was just looking at Rick. Hopefully he wasn't coming over and talk to me and tell me, hey, you know, you had your chance, now go home. But, you know, he stuck with me just like everybody else on our staff and in the organization. And, you know, everybody really backed me, and I got on board and really started to fill up the strike zone and pitch the way I know how to pitch.
Lafferty with the fastball for a strike at 81 miles an hour. We'll have another peek at this one right on the outside corner. That was close. That was too close for a lot of the fans in this park. They got into it.
Yeah.
The fans are into it now.
Big
there
pitch.
Go the runners. There's the pitch. It's a ground ball to first base. Casey Harthier handles it. He'll win the race to first base, and that'll do it. The inning is over. A ground ball to Harthier ends it. But the RailCats get a couple of runs. 2 runs on 2 hits. There was an error and 3 men left on base. Nick Hernandez, thank you very much. You were here a lot longer than we expected you to be here. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on being Pitcher of the Year.
Thank you.
Nick Hernandez, our guest, and thanks to Matt Jackson as well. There you see Brendan Lafferty. He gets out of the inning. The Goldeyes lead at 4-3. We'll be back after this. It's Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
It's time now for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by the Dugout Store. 2 locations right here in Shaw Park. Goldie and Goldette lead the fans. 7,345 of them tonight through the 7th inning stretch. The 7th inning stretch as you look at Goldie, Goldette tonight. Allison Pattison, Blair Hunter, everybody involved with the fan services crew here at Shaw Park. The 7th inning stretch brought to you by the Dugout Store. The Goldeyes Souvenir Shop right here. 2 locations at Shaw Park. We have a brand new pitcher for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. It is number 18, Ian Kadish. He's 5'11", 215 pounds. Lives in Longboat Key, Florida, and I can't think of a better place on earth than Longboat Key. Pitched in Amarillo last year. 26 years old. Ian Kadish is 1-1 with a 3.00 ERA. This is his 26th appearance. He's pitched in 30 innings, given up 26 hits, 14 runs, 10 earned. Struck out 29, walked 13. Opponents hitting .241 against him. So Ian Kadish, the brand new pitcher for the Gary SouthShore RailCats, who are trying to battle back in this one. They trail at 4-3 now. For Gary, 3 runs on 7 hits and no errors. For the Goldeyes, 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning for the Goldeyes. It's been a long time after all of those pitchers worked in the 7th for Winnipeg. Actually, there were in that inning 5 pitchers. Gabe Aguilar, Keohi Downing, Taylor Bratton, Taylor Suet, and Brendan Lafferty. So we get a brand new pitcher for the Gary SouthShore RailCats in Ian Kadish, and he'll face Josh Mazzola to open the 7th inning for Winnipeg. First pitch by Kadish, swing and a miss by Mazzola. Thanks to Nick Hernandez and to Matt Jackson, our 2 starting pitchers for the Goldeyes who joined us. The left-hander Hernandez, the right-hander Jackson. And Nick Hernandez, they both stuck around. They're doing a little radio right now with Steve Schuster. There's a long fly ball into the gap. This is hit a ton, but over goes Drew Murin. Boy, he covers a lot of ground, and Murin gets there to make the catch. It was hit hard by Mazzola, but to the deepest part of the ballpark, and Murin gets over to make the play. So 1 away for the Goldeyes in the 7th. It'll bring up Luis Allen. Luis is 0 for 1. He popped out to the second baseman, Zach Mitchell, and was hit by a pitch. Gary has only 1 RBI tonight. It's been an interesting night for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. They hit into a double play and scored some runs. And there's the second out of the inning. Craig Maddox, the first baseman, catches it in foul territory. And 1 pitch gets Luis Allen. Quickly 2 away here in the 7th. It'll bring up Ryan Pineda. But it's one of those odd games where Wally Backman with a sacrifice fly, or rather a ground out and RBI. We'll correct that. It's a ground out and an RBI by Wally Backman. The only run batted in for Gary tonight. They scored a run on a double play, which isn't an RBI, and they scored a run on an error with 2 out, which isn't an RBI. So an interesting night for Gary. The Goldeyes, the runs batted in 2 by Blackwood, and 1 each on solo homers by Casey Harther and Reggie Abercrombie. There's the pitch to Pineda on the corner for strike 1. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Goldeyes lead at 4-3, the final game of the season, game number 100. On Fan Appreciation Night at the downtown ballpark, where 7,345 folks have come to watch the Goldeyes finish the season. Swing and a foul tip off the equipment of Ryan Babineau, the catcher. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Pineda. Brendan Lafferty will come back out in the 8th to work for the Goldeyes, and then we'll likely see Chris Kissick in the 9th fight for the save. Crowd getting into it. Ryan Pineda trying to keep this 7th inning alive. Here's Kadish's pitch. And there's a line drive base hit right up the middle. The 6th hit of the night for the Goldeyes. First hit for Ryan Pineda. He takes this Kadish fastball and hits it back through the middle faster than it came to the plate. So that'll bring up Brock Bond now, with 2 out and a runner on first base. Bond promised his teammates he would hit it out once this year before the season ended. He's running out of at-bats. No home runs, 20 runs batted in. And there is a line foul off the facing of the Sky Suites and back onto the field. Jake Blackwood in the on-deck circle goes over to retrieve it. So Bond, who came in hitting .332, he is 0 for 3 tonight. Kadish's pitch is outside, 1-1. The Goldeyes will have tomorrow off, and then they will play Wednesday against the Lincoln Salt Dogs right here at Shaw Park. Game 1 of the best-of-5 American Association semifinal. There's a shot foul. Count goes to 1-2. The other semifinal will feature the Wichita Wingnuts and the Laredo Lemurs. Two teams from the South Division. The wild card Lemurs against the best team in the league, without question. The Wichita Wingnuts, who finished the season with an incredible record. It's fouled off again. Of 72-27. Should they win tonight, it'd be 73-27. They beat Laredo last night by a converted, well, it wasn't. It was a late field goal. They beat them 17-14 last night in Wichita. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brock Bond. There goes the runner. There's chopped at the plate, foul. So Pineda trying to get into scoring position. Bond fouled it off. Our back-to-back Missouri batters. Brock Bond from St. Louis, and then Jake Blackwood from Kansas City. The show me part of the order. There's Kadish's pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Bond goes down on strikes, and that'll do it for the Goldeyes in the 7th. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the 8th inning of this final game. 6 more outs, the Goldeyes will have 64 wins. Let's see if Brendan Lafferty can get it started. The Goldeyes lead at 4-3 as you look at Ian Kadish. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Here's our standings in the American Association. We were talking about Wichita. Look at them at the bottom. That's stunning. The Wichita Wingnuts will play the Laredo Lemurs. The Lemurs are the wild card club with 58 wins and only 41 losses. They're playing tonight against each other in Wichita. Wichita 72-27. As great a year as the Goldeyes have had, and this is the most wins the Goldeyes have ever had, they won't even be close to Wichita. Winnipeg 63-36. They now leave St. Paul by 14.5 games. That is beyond any expectation the Goldeyes had this year. And it's hard to believe that St. Paul, as good as they were at the 1st of August, are now 2 games below 500. They've lost 4 straight. They've lost 8 of their last 10, and they're 48-50. Fargo 20.5 back. Lincoln, of course, wrapped up the Central last night when the Goldeyes beat Gary. There was no way Lincoln was going to get to 47 losses. So that did it. The Lincoln club had a tiebreaker over Gary. They'd won more games between the two, so Lincoln had already wrapped it up. So even if they had to play an extra game and it ended in a tie, Lincoln still wins the Central. So there will not be any more games after tonight. So Winnipeg, Lincoln, Wichita, and Laredo in the playoffs. It'll be Winnipeg and Lincoln starting Wednesday. Wichita and Laredo also starting Wednesday in Laredo. So there you go. They're the American Association standings. We go to the 8th inning. Brendan Lafferty in to face Henry Wrigley, Josh Romanski, and Craig Maddox. Lafferty's first pitch, the off-speed pitch, fools Wrigley for strike 1. We got a thriller. It's 4-3 in the final game of the year as the Goldeyes try to win number 64. Lafferty gets the sign from Luis Allen. Here's the pitch that misses outside. 1-1 to Henry Wrigley. Henry Wrigley from San Carlos, California. He's 6'4", 220. had a pretty good season, hitting .296 coming in, but he's 0 for 3 in this one. Lafferty's pitch, off-speed pitch is gone. We get a tie game. That is just drilled. Lafferty got it up in the strike zone, and Wrigley deposited it across the street. That's almost in the river. This home run brought to you by Home Run Sports. Come visit us at 20 de la Seigneurie Boulevard. Home Run Sports, proud sponsors of your Winnipeg Goldeyes. So Wrigley ties the game with a solo home run here in the 8th inning, leading off. And this was an absolute no-doubter. Lafferty got the fastball up over the plate, got too much of the plate, barreled up, and goodbye. And it's a 4-4 ball game. Here's the left-handed hitting Josh Romanski. Lafferty's pitch is on the corner for strike 1. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the RailCats. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Goldeyes. We were right back where we started at 4-4. There's a pitch in the dirt. It goes all the way to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike to Romanski. Romanski tonight has a single in the 5th and a single in the 7th. He scored 2 runs in the ballgame. Grounded out back in the 2nd. 2 for 3 on the night. Has a stolen base. Good night for Josh Romanski. Lafferty's pitch. At third base, the third base umpire, Randy Wilmus, said he didn't go around. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lafferty gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Fastball is hit into right field for a base hit. Solid single to right for Josh Romanski. His 3rd hit of the ball game. And Brendan Lafferty, who walked the first batter he faced, Drew Martinez, and then got Zach Mitchell a ground out, has given up a home run and a single here in the 8th. And here comes the left-handed hitting Craig Maddox. Maddox has a single in 3 trips tonight, came in hitting .254. 6 homers and 40 driven in. He was erased on a double play off the bat of Ryan Babineau back in the 5th. There is an activity or 2 in the Gary bullpen. A couple guys stretching. 1 guy getting up to throw. Lafferty checks the runner. And he'll go back to first base. Romanski has already stolen a base tonight. And he is not afraid to run. It was Romanski's 10th steal of the year. He's been caught 5 times. Lafferty's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. High fastball up in the eyes. Maddox couldn't say no. What's that line from League of Their Own? Lay off the high ones. But I like the high ones. 1 strike to Craig Maddox. And Lafferty is concerned about Romanski. That's the 3rd time he's gone over. 4-4 on the home run by Henry Wrigley to lead it off here in the 8th inning. Lafferty's fastball fouled off, 0-2 to Craig Maddox. The Goldeyes will have tomorrow off. Tuesday will be an off day completely, and I suspect that Rick Forney will ask the players not even to bother to show up at the park tomorrow. It's been a long season. 100 games in 107 days. And then get to the park early on Tuesday because it's playoff time. Brock Bond will be back at second base on Tuesday. Jake Blackwood will move back to third. Josh Mazzola will move to right field. Ryan Pineda will be the designated hitter for Wednesday's playoff game. Off-speed pitch, chop foul. Still 0-2 to Craig Maddox. Maddox, tonight's first baseman. He's generally a catcher, but Ryan Babineau has done such a great job. Henry Wrigley, the DH tonight. Count remains at 0-2. And Lafferty again goes back to first base. Goldie trying to get the fans into it. Doing a pretty good job. And Lafferty again. Not taking any chances at all with Josh Romanski in a 4-4 tie. The right-handed hitting Ryan Babineau in the on-deck circle. There you look at Craig Maddox. Lafferty gets a sign from Allen. He sets up outside. Here's the pitch. There's a line shot in a left field, a solid single. Around to third will go Romanski. The throw comes into Kuhn in the infield. We have runners in the corners with nobody out. We'll have another peek at this one, but there's no doubt this is a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Maddox drills it the opposite way for a base hit. So runners on the corners now with nobody out here in the 8th inning. And here comes the catcher, Babineau. Luis Allen letting everybody in the infield know that the corners are in. Harther will hold Maddox at first. Here's the pitch. That's on the corner for a strike. 1 strike to Babineau. Babineau tonight has walked twice and hit into a double play. Scored a run in the 7th. Pitches in the dirt, gets away from Luis Allen. Nobody's going to move. Good job by Allen to block it and keep it from going all the way back to the backstop. We'll have another peek at this. It was a fastball in the dirt. Allen does a good job. Runners remain at first and third with nobody out. There's the pitch. There goes the runner, swing and a miss, and it gets away from Allen. And in to score will come Romanski, and all the way to third goes Maddox. This inning is coming apart. It'll be a wild pitch by Lafferty to score the run. It'll be a stolen base and a wild pitch for Maddox. And another run comes home. And Gary takes a 5-4 lead. We'll have another look at it, but Brendan Lafferty's just let it get away in this game. Swing and a miss makes the count. Ball on 2 strikes to Babineau. Lafferty's pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. We'll have to throw down to first base to get Ryan Babineau, so it'll be a strikeout 2-3 on the putout. Staying at third base is Craig Maddox, and up comes Wally Backman. It's a 5-4 lead for Gary now, but the only RBIs tonight are Henry Wrigley on his home run and Wally Backman on a ground out. The rest of the runs are coming a wild pitch, double play, and an error. So one away, runner at third. The infield is in, trying to defend against the one giving up one more run. Josh Mazzola, Tyler Kuhn on the grass on the left side. Jake Blackwood and Casey Harth are on the grass on the right side to try to hold Maddox at third base. Swing and a miss, 1-1, the count to Backman. Wally Backman tonight beat out an infield single in the third, flied out to left in the fifth, and grounded out to second base in the seventh inning. That ground out drove in a run. Here's Lafferty's pitch. That's in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Backman. The final game of the season, game number 100. Gary leads at 5-4. Here's the pitch, an off-speed pitch to Blackwood at second. And they get the second out. The curveball sawed off Backman. Maddox could not go. Blackwood playing in. Defense was set perfectly. We'll have another look at it. And a good job by Jake Blackwood. Checks the runner, throws out Backman. And that's 2 away now here in the 8th. And it brings up the number 9 hitter, Drew Murin. Murin 0 for 3. Flied out to center twice, was safe on an error. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Good pitch by Lafferty, who has settled in with a strikeout, soft ground out, after giving up a home run and 2 singles. A couple runs in this inning. Trying to shut it down, limit the damage. Lafferty kicks, delivers, strike 2. 2 good sliders by Brendan Lafferty. Fool Murin. As Lafferty tries to put Gary away here in the 8th. There's the pitch. That's in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Murin. Lafferty got Murin to bite on the first 2 sliders in the dirt. The fastball straight down. Murin would have none of it. Maddox at third. There you look at Brendan Lafferty. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Lafferty gets out of the inning without any further damage. But 2 runs are scored on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Gary SouthShore RailCats 5, the Winnipeg Goldeyes 4. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball, live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
Join the movement to kick cancer. 5 simple things can reduce your risk of cancer by up to 50%. Choose a balanced diet with plenty of fruits and vegetables. Get active to maintain a healthy body weight. Avoid tobacco and secondhand smoke. Protect yourself from UV rays. Follow cancer screening guidelines and see your doctor for regular checkups. Take the pledge to reduce your risk of cancer. Join the movement at kickcancer.ca.
An initiative of Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation, supported by Safeway.
Welcome back. What a great crowd. 7,345 here tonight on Fan Appreciation Night. They're waiting for the fireworks. The final score really doesn't matter that much, and you can tell the way Rick Forney has handled his pitchers. Chris Kissick will come in and pitch the 9th inning regardless of the situation. And now pitching for Greg Taggarts Gary SouthShore RailCats, is a player whose number is nowhere to be found on my score sheet. Number 41 does not exist. They're telling me he is number 31, Nick McCulley. So he's wearing 41, but his listed number is 31. So Nick McCulley is the new pitcher. He's 5'11", 195, pitched in Fargo last year. He's from Bluffton, South Carolina. He's an LS3, 26 years old. Nick McCulley. Check out his numbers. It's he's 1-3 on the season, 4.67 ERA. This is his 6th game of the year. He's pitched 27 innings. All of his other games he started. He's given up 34 hits, 16 runs, 14 earned, walked 10, struck out 25. Opponents hitting .321 against him. So Jake Blackwood will lead it off against McCulley, and the first pitch is high for ball 1. 90-mile-an-hour fastball for McCulley. Jake Blackwood tonight is 1 for 3. He has a single, drove in 2 runs with it. Pitch way outside. Pitch is right down the middle. 2 balls and a strike to Blackwood. Blackwood started the season very, very slowly, and then he got hurt. Missed 18 games. There was a time when he was hitting in the 230s. He's raised his batting average to .319. That's gone up to .320 with 1 for 3 tonight. And there's a pitch on the corner that wasn't close. Well, maybe home plate umpire Joe Stegner does want to go home. Stegner's the home plate umpire tonight. Bobby Feaster's at first base. Randy Wilmus is at third. There's a fly ball in the left field. This is going to be a tough play. It will get down for a base hit. A single for Blackwood. Hit a bit off the fist, not really barreled up. A tough play, got into the gap area, and Romanski made a great effort. Couldn't make the catch, and a single for Blackwood. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Another solid night for Jake Blackwood. Yeah, a little bit out off the end of the bat. Romanski called for it, but it was just out of his reach. Murin gets it back in. It's been a really solid week for Blackwood. He went 4 for 5 last night. He was 1 for 4 in game 2 of the series and 1 for 4 in game 1. So he's had 8 hits in this series. Good weekend for Jake Blackwood to finish the season. Here's Tyler Kuhn, the runner at first and nobody out. That's fouled off onto the roof for strike 1. Tyler Kuhn tonight is 0 for 3. He flied out to center. And struck out. Swing and a miss, strike 2. The off-speed pitch really fooled Kuhn. McCulley is throwing the fastball at about 90. And that change was at 80. Kuhn was way out in front, 0-2 to Tyler Kuhn, who came in hitting .361. Was the leading hitter in the Goldeyes club, Casey Harther. There's a ground ball base hit in the left field. The opposite way, first hit of the night for Kuhn. That'll help in this battle for who will win the Tear the Cover Off the Ball trophy. It might only be percentage points before it's over. There's the pitch by McCulley. Kuhn just squirts it the opposite way through the infield. And here's Harther with runners at first and second and nobody out. Harther came in hitting .360, but he hit a solo home run in the second inning. And out comes the pitching coach, Chad Rhodes, to have a conversation with Neil McCulley. At first base is Tyler Kuhn. At second is Jake Blackwood. The Goldeyes now have 8 hits on the night. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Goldeyes trail at 5-4, but they have something going here against the relief pitcher McCulley. And with Harther and Abercrombie back to back. At this stage, just about anything is acceptable to that man, Rick Forney, except the double play. Arthur has a home run in 2 official trips. He's also walked. Arthur squares to bunt, and he pops it up. McCulley makes the catch. Arthur squared the bunt and popped it up. I think that was a show me for Rick Forney. Can Casey bunt? Pitch was high, and he popped it up. First out of the inning. That'll bring up Reggie Abercrombie with runners at first and second. And 1 out. If the Goldeyes were battling for a playoff spot, I don't believe for 1 second that Rick Forney would have taken the bat out of Casey Arthur's hands. I think he just wanted to see him bunt one before the playoffs start. McCulley's pitch fouled off. Strike 1 to Reggie Abercrombie. Runners at first and second. Let's see if Casey can get the first one down. But I can pretty much guarantee you that if this game meant anything tonight, there is no way he'd have taken the bat out of Casey Arthur's hand. McCulley checks the runners. Here's the pitch. That just misses outside, 1-1. Reggie tonight was hit by a pitch in the second, homered in the 5th, struck out in the 6th. And there's a ground ball. Oh, and a tough hop and a great play by Pulfer. Over to second for 1, back to first, and double play. Outstanding play by Pulfer. And Reggie hits into a 6-4-3 double play. Let's have another look at this. He hit it hard, and it takes a big hop, and what a play by Pulfer. He flips it to Mitchell. Mitchell to Maddox, and that does it. Goldeyes get no runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the 9th inning. Chris Kissick will come in to pitch. It's Gary 5, Winnipeg 4. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball, live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
It's time now for your slide of the game, brought to you by Manitoba Public Insurance. And we'll go back to the 7th inning. On to second goes Josh Romanski. He's safe at second on the steal. And then he goes to third and steals third. 2 steals on about 4 pitches. And those are our slides of the game. Josh Romanski getting them both. It's brought to you every game by Manitoba Public Insurance. Dancing Gabe has the rhythm. We work into the 9th inning, and when Dancing Gabe is dancing like that, you can just about figure the Goldeyes are going to get back into this one. He's got his Goldeyes jersey on with his Jets hoodie. He's all over it tonight. So Chris Kissick is the brand new pitcher for the Goldeyes. He is the 8th pitcher of the night. 8th pitcher, Chris Kissick. Chris Kissick is from Fruitvale, British Columbia, 6'4", 185, 29 years old, a brand new dad. He is officially in LS4, played in Winnipeg last year. This year, he is making his, and this is big, his 47th appearance of the year. He's 7-2. Or correct that, he's 0-5 with a 3.25 ERA. He's pitched 44 1/3 innings. Opponents hitting 277 against him. His first pitch misses against Danny Pulfer for ball 1. It's the top of the order. Pulfer, Martinez, and Mitchell to face Kissick here in the 9th. And there's a pop-up. Arthur comes over. He's got plenty of room and makes the catch. So 2 pitches, Kissick gets Pulfer to pop it out. And that's the first out of this 9th inning. It'll bring up Drew Martinez. Drew Martinez is 1 for 3 officially. He has grounded to short, grounded to second, doubled, and walked. First pitch is right down the middle for strike 1. Time is called at home plate. Martinez came in hitting .359 with 2 home runs and 62 driven in. Play him straight away at every position. Swing and a miss. The off-speed pitch fooled him. Martinez was way out in front. The Winnipeg Goldeyes will go to the playoffs. The Gary SouthShore RailCats will go home tonight. Winnipeg's win last night, 18-5, eliminated Gary from the postseason. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Chris Kissick gets his first strikeout of the game. Quickly 2 away here in the 9th inning. That'll bring up Zach Mitchell. Zach Mitchell is 1 for 4. He grounded out to first, grounded out to second, beat out an infield single, and grounded out to first. Here's Kissick's first pitch to Mitchell. He pops it up. Boy, what a nice inning for Chris Kissick. He looked great. Blackwood makes the catch. And that was a tremendous 9th inning for Chris Kissick. That might be our player of the game. Nothing across for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. It's Gary 5, Winnipeg 4. As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
It is a tower of hope and a vision of the future as shared as the sky. It will be a forum for new dialogue based on inclusion and respect. A place of empowerment, knowledge, and inspiration built on Canadian ideals. Become engaged and be inspired. Visit the Canadian Museum for Human Rights.
Welcome back to the ballpark. It's the bottom of the 9th. Fans have been tremendous tonight. There's Rick Forney, the manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. He's had a great year with a terrific team that he put together. He and Tom Vaith brought these players to town. Jamie Vermillion helped with the pitching staff. And the players have turned out to be as good as everyone expected. I said in our first broadcast, this team had a chance to win 60. I did not think they'd have a chance to win 64. We've got a brand new pitcher for the Gary SouthShore RailCats. It's James Parr. He's 6'1", 185. He is 28 years old. Played in Gwinnett last year. He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. James Parr is this team's closer. He was 2-2 on the season with a 4.30 ERA. He's been in, this will be his 21st appearance. He has 7 saves. He's pitched 23 innings, given up 20 hits, 11 runs, all of them earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 22. Pretty solid pitcher, James Parr, the closer. He'll face the bottom of the Goldeyes order here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Donnie Webb, Josh Mazzola, Luis Allen, Ryan Pineda. So we'll see if the bottom of the order can get something going. Donnie Webb tonight has a single in 3 trips. Flied out to center field in the 2nd, singled in the 5th, and popped out to short in the 6th. So Donnie Webb steps in. Had a tremendous season. Came in hitting .293. That should go up a point. Base hit, go up 2. First pitch is low and inside for ball 1. He has 10 home runs, 50 runs driven in. He has roamed left field for the entire season. Swing and a miss. Strike one, 1-1. Donnie Webb has 32 stolen bases on the year. That's third in the league, behind Brian Sabatella from Kansas City and Matt Forgatch from Lincoln. We're going to see Matt Forgatch on Wednesday night here at Shaw Park. Parr's pitch is fouled off onto the roof. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Donnie Webb. We're in the bottom of the 9th, the final game of the year. The Goldeyes down to their final 3 outs. One way or the other, I suppose. Trailing 5-4. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the RailCats. 4 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Goldeyes. Parr delivers, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Donnie Webb way behind on that fastball at 86 from James Parr. Quickly one away. It'll bring up Josh Mazzola. Mazzola tonight has a single in 3 trips. He flied out to right, singled in the 5th, scored a run, flied out to center field in the 7th. Hit it deep in the 7th, but a lot of room out there, and Drew Murin covers a lot of ground. So here's Parr's first pitch to Mazzola. It's low for ball 1. Josh Mazzola will finish batting around 266, 67, but good power numbers. 16 home runs, same as last year. More RBIs with 68. His run production was up. Batting average down, run production up. Rick Forney will take the run production. Thank you very much. Parr kicks and delivers. Off-speed pitch, chop foul at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mazzola. Luis Allen into the on-deck circle. Pitch is high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mazzola. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Here's Parr's pitch. That's in there for strike 3, and Mazzola knew it. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts here in the 9th. And it'll bring up Luis Allen. Parr came in to pitch in the first game of the series on Friday night with Gary leading 3-0. Rick Forney noticed something in his glove, told the home plate umpire, and Parr did not throw a pitch. They found a substance in his glove, and he was kicked out of the game and removed. There's a line shot, a base hit. Luis Allen, not going to be the last man out. Gets his first hit of the night. Now I suspect it's a bit of a challenge. You don't want to be the last man out of the season. Luis is done. There'll be a pinch runner for Luis Allen. A line shot, solid single into right center field. So Luis ends the year with a base hit. Jordan Guida is going to run for Luis Allen. There you see Jordan Guida. By the way, he says he's tired of the beard. He and Jackson started growing the beard. You saw Matt Jackson's beard when he was our guest today. Guida said he's done with it. He's had too much. But they started the playoff beards early. And he said as soon as we win the championship, the beard is gone. First pitch to Pineda is low for ball 1. So Guida running for Allen at first. 2 away. Ryan Pineda this year has 5 home runs. And he's hit 4 of them in this ballpark. Maybe he can turn on one here. Here's Parr's pitch. Swing and a miss. He tried. He took the swing. If he makes contact, that goes a long way. Big swing for Ryan Pineda. 1-1 the count. Goldeyes 9 hits in the ball game. They had a 4-1 lead at one point. But it's been an odd pitching night for Winnipeg. They've had 9 pitchers. There's a pitch outside, misses 2 balls and 1 strike. Something we haven't seen very much this year. Hernandez, Fowler, Aguilar, Downing, Bratton, Suet, Lafferty, Kissick. Make that 8 pitchers on the night to be official. 2-1 the count to Pineda. Parr decides that he's going to hold Gaida. Brock Bond into the on-deck circle. Parr kicks, delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2-2, another big cut by Pineda. Well, if you're going to go down, you may as well go down the hero. Swing hard. If that one makes contact, it's in the trees across the street. 2-2 to counter Ryan Pineda. Here's Parr's pitch. Swing and a foul tip all the way to the screen. Pineda stays alive. Gaida is at first, running for Luis Allen. 2 away, bottom of the 9th. James Parr, the closer, against Ryan Pineda, the number 9 hitter in the order. As the Goldeyes try to come back here in their final game of the year. Parr checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Ryan Babineau, and that'll do it. It's a ball game. The Goldeyes lose it 5-4. They lose their final game of the year, but still finish the season with a record of 63-37, the best season in the history of the franchise. And congratulations to the Winnipeg Goldeyes, who will start the playoffs on Wednesday night right here at Shaw Park against the Lincoln Salt Dogs. The winning pitcher for tonight's game was the starter, Morgan Coombs. The losing pitcher in the ball game was Brendan Lafferty. The save goes to James Parr. The Goldeyes finished 63-37. The final score, the Gary SouthShore RailCats 5, the Winnipeg Goldeyes 4. Come on back for the Safeway postgame show. We're going to have some speeches from the general manager and the owner and manager Rick Forney before this game calls itself complete. And then we're going to have the fireworks, and we're going to go down and talk to our player of the game. We'll do that coming up. The Safeway postgame show coming up. Final score, Gary 5, Winnipeg 4. This is Safeway Goldeyes Baseball live on Shaw TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Safeway.
At Shaw TV, we are proud to bring you live events, and we value your comments. Call the Shaw TV viewer response line now, 204-480-3500, or email us, shawtvwinnipeg@shaw.ca, and let us know how we're doing. Or find us on Facebook and Twitter at Shaw TV Winnipeg.
Was Ron Arnst. Ron's thanked many of our game day staff. There's a few thank yous I'd like to make. Goldeyes owner Sam Cates. Without him, none of this would be possible. Thanks, Sam. A huge thank you to our clubhouse staff, Stephen, Jamie, and Jake. Thanks, guys. Our coaches, Tom and Jamie, thanks for all your hard work this year. Our fans, the best fans in sports. This year's been challenging with all the rain we've had, but you continue to show up, rain or shine, through some nasty weather. Thank you for continuing to support your team. How about a huge round of applause for this group of players? 63 wins this year. This is my 21st season with the Goldeyes, and I can honestly say that this group is absolutely not just the best group of players, but the best group of individuals, best group of people right here. All good guys. Love you, Reggie. And how about Rick Forney? 3 out of the last 4 years in the playoffs, 63 wins, team record, another outstanding job putting this group together. Thank you everyone again for coming out tonight, for coming out all season, and I know we'll see you all back here on Wednesday and Thursday night against the Salt Dogs. You have no idea what it means to this group of players to see this crowd. So please come out. Let's make it a good playoff run. And now, Rick Forney.
Thank you. I promise I won't keep you long. I got a couple pounds of chicken wings waiting for me at the Fox and Fiddle. Plus, I'm pretty sure you want to see these fireworks. But just a few quick thank yous. Front office staff, I appreciate your hard work and effort throughout the year. Without you guys putting all these people in the seats and making this thing run like a well-oiled machine, it certainly wouldn't be so fun at this park. Thank you very much. Dan Chase, happy 60th birthday. Hope I look as good as you do at 60. By the way, I'm still waiting on that custom suit. I got my 25th class reunion October 11th. I was hoping to look really good there. And Angie, thank you for booking that presidential suite every road trip for me. Thank you so much. Sorry for the cost, Sam. Steve Schuster, our new radio guy. How about a hand for him? Not an easy act to follow, but he did a great job. He's a real professional. Hold on, let's take a selfie. These guys are pretty good at that. Just a few more thank yous. Obviously to our clubhouse staff, Jamie Sampson, he keeps us well-clothed and well-fed year-round. He does a tremendous job, works extremely hard. And without him, I'm not sure what we would do. But thank you, Jamie, for your hard work. Jake and the visiting clubhouse and the umpires, they always rave about the job young Jake does. And he also helps pick up players in Grand Forks when we have to leave them behind and bring them through the board. He does a great job making himself available to us. Stephen Wadey, our new trainer, excellent job. Not an easy gig to walk into. Never done baseball before. Probably had no idea what a rotator cuff injury was, but he did a good job keeping the guys on the field for the entire season. To my coaching staff, Jamie and Tom, by far the best coaches in the league. Very knowledgeable, very passionate, very hardworking. They do a great job evaluating. I really appreciate their honesty when they're evaluating our players. They work hard for their guys. And they're a great help to me when it comes to procuring talent. And those guys are certainly a huge asset to me in the organization. Thank you very much. To my players, I don't want to sound too redundant and talk about the same stuff that Andrew just talked about, but 63 wins is a pretty special season. This is a very demanding schedule that we play with 100 games in 109, 110 days. A lot of travel. I mean, we were on the Mexican border. We were all the way over in Quebec. Just, it's very demanding, and these guys, they just come to the park and they want to play hard every day. But I think the secret to our success is they're great individuals. they're better individuals than they are baseball players, and that's saying something because you guys got to see how good of baseball players they really were, and it was a joy to come to the field and watch these guys work every day. They made it easy for me to cancel batting practice. We probably hit less than a handful of times over the last month, only because I wanted to make sure they were fresh for the game, but at the same time, I trusted that they were going to come to the field and prepare for every game the right way, and they were certainly true professionals, and they made that decision easy for me. But from day one, I just told these guys, just make sure you're on time and give me a good, honest day's work and be professional, and they went above and beyond that, and I can't thank you enough. Super group of guys, best group we've ever had here, and I've been here a long time, just the best group. And to Sam, I know he's here. I don't know where the heck Sam is. He's hard to find sometimes. He's not the biggest person, but I really do appreciate you giving me this opportunity to manage this club. This is the best job in independent baseball for a number of reasons, but a lot of people often ask me what it's like to work for Sam. Is he calling, and what's he like? And I got to tell you, he's the best boss to work for. He never meddles. He's talked to me 5 times, 5 straight days. It's the most he's talked to me in 2 years. He's been in my office. He gave me a good solid 20 minutes today. I enjoy working for him. He makes it a lot of fun. He's very supportive, and he's a great owner. And thanks for taking a chance on me back in 2006. To Andrew Collier, not only is he the best GM in the world, but he's the easiest boss to work for. He's very supportive, and he's maybe the kindest human being that I've ever met in my life, and I appreciate you. And in closing, to the best fans in all of professional baseball, not just independent baseball, but professional baseball, you guys are a huge, huge asset to me. You make it fun to come to the park. Everybody wants to play in front of big crowds. And oftentimes, I got to tell you, some of the teams that don't draw well on the road often play really well in Winnipeg because they're excited to play in this atmosphere. And it's all because of you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Now, before I get out of here and we shoot some fireworks off, one of the things that makes Winnipeg unique compared to other places is playoff baseball. And the reason that is because we get the support that nobody else gets. We can often go to play playoff games and there's less than 1,000 people in the park. But that's not the case here in Winnipeg. So we're certainly hopeful that you're going to be able to make it on Wednesday and Thursday to help support our team. We're certainly going to need your help. And I don't want you to stay home and miss out on anything because we got a special group and something special could happen. We'll see you guys Wednesday night. Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, watch your Goldeyes players. They're tossing baseball caps into the stands in appreciation of all your support all season long.
back to the Safeway postgame show. Safeway, ingredients for life. My guest is our play of the game, our player of the game, brought to you by Shaw Go Apps, is Chris Kissick. You had a great ninth inning. It was a game that really didn't matter, but it was a game where you guys played extremely well, I thought. And you had your best stuff of the year, perhaps. I think you threw 5 pitches to get out of the ninth inning. Tell us about this season and how much it meant to you guys.
It means a lot. We had a great group of guys, great team. It's kind of sad being over, but I know we got a lot of work to do, and we got, like Rick talked about earlier, we got a special group of guys here, and hopefully we do something special in the playoffs.
When you came into the game tonight, what was your thought? Just to get out of it as quickly as possible and think about Wednesday?
Yeah, throw strikes, not give up any more runs. I want to keep it close. Maybe we can pull off a win here, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But yeah, I was relaxed. It was, like I said, a meaningless game, but relaxed but serious at the same time. You have a big Wednesday coming up. How's this team shaping up? Are they ready? Yeah, we're ready. We want Lincoln. We got them. We're ready for them. So it's the Lincoln Salt Dogs and the Winnipeg Goldeyes, the first game of the playoffs on Wednesday night. Congratulations on a great season. Thank you very much. Chris Kissick, our player of the game tonight. The player of the game brought to you by Shaw Go Apps. And now it's time for our play of the game. And I think it's going to be our play of the season. Now, I'm down at field level, and I really don't know what young Rebecca has lined up for me. But I think it's going to be the play that it should have been right from the start. The opening pitch thrown by Nick Hernandez today, because Nick Hernandez was named Pitcher of the Year in the American Association this year. He started the game today. It would have been nice to see him win his 13th, but he ends up finishing 12-2 with a 3.11 ERA. The Pitcher of the Year in the American Association, and our play of the game is his first pitch in the final game of the season. The final score today was the Winnipeg Goldeyes on the short end of a 5-4 Gary SouthShore RailCats victory. But it was the final game of the season. The Goldeyes finished it up 63-37, the best record in the history of this franchise. It was a great, great season. We appreciate you joining us for all of the games this year on Shaw TV. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Scott Taylor, and on behalf of Al Foster, Mike Beauregard, Ken Weeb, and all of our guests this season, thanks for watching Safeway Goldeyes Baseball on Shaw TV. See you again soon, everybody.
Hello, welcome to today's show. We are going to be talking today about mission-style lamps. Generally speaking, mission-style lamps are four-sided. This one beside me is a perfect example. This is a really nice small table lamp.